Hello everyone, Karnasa here, and welcome to another live stream. And usually on Saturdays I would be live streaming with Alisea, but we're not doing that today purely because she had her COVID vaccine this week, and she had a rather bad side effects from it, rather bad time. She's not feeling very well. She had a fever and everything. She basically got a full-blown flu, so she's not feeling well today. So I thought I'd carry on working on some Lunar-based stuff for Kerbal Gets Real the next Millenia. But hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the stream. Hello, Nicole Webster, Katniss. Let's have a look. Neptune Official, welcome. Swagwoods JD Khaled, ciao. Hello, Herkus Plays. Hello, and welcome, everyone. So what we're going to be doing today, and what I got on screen at the moment, is what was on the thumbnail. I've not landed it on the moon yet. I've kind of been designing separate modules for my Lunar South Pole outpost, and this is currently what I've got together at the moment. It is very modular, and hopefully I'll be able to put this all together on the surface of the moon. So what my idea is I want to land, say, this section on its own, then these kind of like tubes that connect up. I saw someone mention in the stream chat before the stream went live, these are 5 meters in diameter. I have tweak scaled them down due to the fact that I kind of imagined that like that is the tube where our astronauts are going to be walking through. And if we have a look, like, yeah, that's plenty big enough to have them walk through here. Yeah, it's going to be modular. It's got a few different modules at the moment. We've got 2 of these landers, which I have designed. I think I need to do a bit of tweaking to these, because at the moment, I don't think they have enough food, water, and oxygen on them. We've got kind of like a habitation section here, which I am going to add some food kind of depots for our astronauts. We've got a mining rig over here, which is going to contain, well, we're going to be able to mine water from the south pole of the moon, which I checked in the last moon live stream that I did. And then we're going to convert that using electrolysis to hydrogen and oxygen. And then I'm going to put some liquefiers on this so we can convert that gaseous oxygen and gaseous hydrogen into hydrolocks. And that will be what fuels up these spacecraft, and then we can send them on their merry way. So these landers at the moment, one thing about these landers, they have enough delta V to circularize at the moon and land. They don't have enough delta V to go back home, but they will if we fill them up on the surface of the moon, which is exactly what I want to do. That's why we've got this kind of ISRU setup. It makes it kind of, it's just something that I wanted to do. It's something that I have wanted to do with ISRU, and hopefully with this setup as well, we won't need to import any water or oxygen. It will just be food that we need to supply. So that's basically it. That's basically it at the moment. I need to figure out a way of getting all of these modules down onto the moon, and then I also need to figure out a way of connecting them all together when they are on the surface of the moon, which I feel like is going to be easier said than done. And I feel like I'm going to have sort of the similar idea that I did in Coming Home. I'm going to see if I can put together some kind of rover that will be able to connect to these docking ports and then drive these parts around. And that is how I'm going to connect the landers as well. I don't know how well that's going to go, but that's why we do have docking ports on both sides of these landers. There's docking ports on both sides of every module so that I can connect a rover up to them and then just drive it around on the surface of the moon and see how that goes. But we'll see. So hang on. Thank you, Alisea. Oh, Alisea's in the chat as well. Welcome, Alisea. Like I said, she's not feeling too great at the moment. So, finally caught a live stream, yeah. Hello, Thunder Brothers. Welcome to the first live stream that you've caught. Kanasa, I was trying to make stock KSP look realistic, and I forgot to add Astronomer's Visual Pack, so Kerbin had no atmosphere. Oh dear. Astronomer's Visual Pack does look very nice. That's what Alisea has. When me and Alisea are playing KSP together, that is the visual pack that we are using. Pippin is doing a lot of meowing at the moment. So, hello, Calvin. Hello, Calvin McClure. Welcome. Base building is not something I've done much of in RO, but I very much want to. Yes, I built, obviously, a couple of bases in Kerbal Gets Real. I built Conglomerate, and I built the second one, which I can't remember what that was called, but this one is going to be a bit bigger. This one it's a lot more modular. There's a lot more parts to it, and we should hopefully meet.
Attention for a second, because it keeps me out of view.
Can I give Pippin attention?
Say hello.
Hello, Pippin. So Alisea isn't coming on camera at the moment due to the fact that she looks terrible, but she was going to bring the cat in anyway. So yeah, no, this is much more modular, bigger. We'll be able to keep crew down here for quite a while. And that's what I want to do. So, Basey McBaseface. Yes, it was that. Yes, it was indeed Basey McBaseface. Or Solidarity. Yeah, no, the official name was Solidarity. And the kind of popular name. The name that won the vote was Basey McBaseface, all thanks to N9. So yes. Right, anyway, this is the Lunar South Pole outpost that I've got. There are a few modules that I do want to add on to this, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. And once I have done kind of built every single module that I want to do, then comes the tricky part. How do we land all of this? How do we land all of this? It's gonna be a logistical nightmare. I've got no idea what I'm doing. Probably a lot of Super Draco engines, maybe some advanced Gemini lander engines. I'm not sure. These can land. I've checked those out. They can land on the surface of the moon. So yeah. We're going to get straight into this. I mean, it's been, like 7 minutes already, but yes, well, let's get straight into this and let's work on maybe a rover that is going to be able to connect these parts all together. So I think, yeah, a rover would be a solid next choice to do, or maybe even a section where we're going to land our food. A food storage depot, that probably would be smart as well. I think I'll do that first. Then we'll work on the rover. Then we'll pull everything apart and try and figure out how we're going to land this, which is going to be, as I said, easier said than done. So this is going to be super basic, just a kind of like little service module section, and all we're going to do is we're going to whack a load of food in it. And I think maybe we'll have these 2.5 meters in diameter. I feel like that'll be a decent amount to attach onto this. We'll make these a bit longer, maybe something like this. There we go. I need the NASA docking ports because that is what I am using, the NASA docking system. There we go. And that's basically a food module, a service module that is going to contain all of our food. I am building this in the spacecraft, the spaceplane hangar. I'm not used to building in the spaceplane hangar, so I might be a bit weird with my controls. And I think what we'll do is we'll turn this white, we'll make this white, and kind of then that way it will match up with everything else. And I probably should have done this before the stream, but I've had some things to do during today, so I tried to build as much as I possibly could before the stream started, but I've just quickly had something to eat and I wasn't able to quite get all of this done. So these are non-RO and non-RP1 parts. However, I still feel like they should work okay due to the fact that, well, they're landing legs, and I don't think there's going to be anything. Well, that's completely wrong. I don't think I'm gonna have an issue with using these within RO, but well, I could be pleasantly or unpleasantly surprised. So we'll see how they work when I actually get to them. I'm not going to place any avionics on, say, this stage, purely because I will have the avionics on the device that lands this. And then, in order to move this, what we will do is we'll use the rover, which will have avionics. So I don't actually need avionics on here. So if we come in here, and all we need to do is fill this up with food. Food for our astronauts on the surface of the moon. This only weighs 7 tons all in, so it's not huge. It's not a huge amount. I'm not sure how long that food is going to last. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Pippin point, lol, nice. Pippin point, I love that. Iron thruster RCS. Wait, what? Iron thruster RCS? Where's that come from? So, Carnessa, what happens if the ground is uneven? So, the ground shouldn't be too uneven. I'm trying to land in the South Pole, and it can, there are lots of craters around the South Pole. But because it's real solar system, you don't get as drastic kind of mountain ranges and cliffs as you do in regular stock KSP and anything that is the scale of stock KSP. So I'm hoping that I should be able to find a nice flat surface. Obviously, in the thumbnail of this video, that was a relatively flat surface, and that was okay, and I landed it. Well, I didn't land it. I used HyperEdit to land it for that picture for the thumbnail, but I should be able to land that fine. So yeah, this is quick, cheap, and dirty. Just a kind of little service module. I will save this as what is it? Lunar South Pole Base LSPB. Yes, PB. Yep. Food supplies. And I think what I'll do with these, rather than keeping these on every time that I need to refuel the food, I will get my rover that I will construct soon, hopefully, and then we'll just take these apart and move them, drive them a little bit away, maybe dump them down the side of a crater or something like that, and then replace them with a new one. We do have some food on the base, which I've placed already, so losing one of these isn't going to be the end of the world. So now, in order to save this as a subassembly and attach it to the base, I'm just going to route the docking system so I can drop that in here and base food. There we go, and that's fine. That's good. That's all we need to do for that, and that should be okay. I might come through at a later date, and once I've decided the name for the surface base, what I'll do is I'll design a flag for it or something like that and whack some decals all over it, which will look very, very nice as well. So if I save that, and what I'm going to do is, this is what I've been trying to do. I'll just open up the Lunar South Pole outpost section on my spaceplane hangar, and I will attach the bits, and then I try and kind of figure out where the landing legs are going to be so I can make sure that they all match up nicely, because docking things on the ground is quite difficult. It's quite difficult. I did that quite a lot in coming home, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but having wheels will help, which is why I'm using the rover method, but we'll see how that goes. And there is probably going to be a lot of testing if we get to that in this live stream, making sure that it all works fine. So all I need to do is flip that upside down, and then we can see, yeah, so these legs, they're not quite long enough. They don't quite match up with this, so they do need to be extended. Luckily, we can do that with this, where these adjustable base cradle comes from. Yeah, we can extend those, which is really nice. And if I have a look, maybe if I go for 50, then what I like to do I'll just move those over to another piece that has a leg, and we'll see how far away the legs are. So they need to come down just a tad more, because yeah, they're not quite connected. So if I maybe make these go down to about, there we go, 58 looks promising. And I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll see. I'll get to that step when I get to it, and hopefully I don't have a lot of tears and there's a lot of crying going on because I have really messed this up. One other thing about this surface base. So I've got this one drilling platform here. I think I'm going to have more than one of these, purely due to the fact that, well, this is enough to provide oxygen and water for our astronauts on board. However, I'm not sure how feasible it's going to be for filling up these fuel tanks, and maybe one thing that I could do, and I've just looked at this now, and this has just popped into my head, and maybe what I can do is I can grab all of these docking systems and kind of have them as like a ring around here, so we have one going off in each direction. That'll take a few more launches to get this all set up, but I imagine this is going to take a lot of launches. This won't take place immediately. This will take a lot of building. So, yeah, tortoise supply module sounds good. There's a tortoise supply module? So, Carnassa, have you ever tried the WASD camera mod for the assembly building? I have, and I really didn't like it. I really, really did not like it. It confused me. It's probably because I'm not used to it, and if I tried it for a little while, I probably could get used to it, and I could use that okay. But yeah, when I first tried it, I really, really didn't enjoy it. It kind of threw everything off. Isaac Wass, hello, and welcome to the stream. Did you see that another meteor has been seen over the UK in southwest England this time? I didn't realise there was any meteors being seen over the UK. So, it must be an omen. That's what they used to believe in the olden days, wasn't it? Whenever there were meteors around, it's some sort of horrific omen that things were about to go all terribly wrong. So I'm just going to whack another one of these on here just to see kind of like what the space that we're working with. Okay, yeah, that's fine. It might be difficult to move a rover to connect these up, but oh well. I'm sure I'll be able to do something at some point. I'm just going to whack some crew in and see with this food. We are going to have a look and see how long that lasts. 2 years. 2 years for 4 crew with these 2 modules. That's fine. That's almost 3 years, actually. And water and oxygen we don't have to worry about because we will be producing water and oxygen. So yeah, that's not bad. That's really not that bad. If I just, yeah, put some oxygen in these, and I'm assuming that will go up quite dramatically. I have a look. Oh, come on. Let's get nitrogen away for 4 days. If I unforbid that. Okay. Fair enough. Why? There we go. 272 days. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, no. I'm gonna do that. The reason why I forbid things like oxygen and stuff like that when I've got the tanks empty is because obviously when you launch in Realism Overhaul, the launch clamps will start refueling things. And I don't want them to be even slightly full when I launch them, because it's gonna mess up all of my calculations, all of my kind of, yeah, calculations is probably the only really word that I can say for it, to get these to the lunar surface. So that's fine. We've got a base, we've got some food supplies, that should all match up rather nicely. These legs might be a little bit too low, but oh well, that's something that I can check momentarily. We'll see that when we get to that. Okay, so I'm going to save that now, and I think now the next thing that I need to work on is some kind of rover system that is going to be able to move all of these base components around, connect them all up. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do for this. So Canasta, how much radiation protection is there? There is a little bit of shielding, just a tiny bit. I don't know how well our astronauts are going to fare with the amount of shielding that I've got on here. That is something that I'm going to have to look into doing or kind of preparing. One thing, I don't know, if anyone's played with Realism Overhaul ISRU at the moment, I thought there was a way that you could add shielding by drilling regolith, which I can add a couple of regolith drills on this base, and then hopefully we should be able to kind of make everything really secure. Or what I could do, another route that I could go down, which I did within Kerbal Gets Real, is make a dedicated nuclear bunker, or like a dedicated radiation shielding bunker, or something like that, because that would be something that I could do, and then I just have one really heavy module that I land all on its own, which has more than enough shielding, and our astronauts will run over in the middle of a solar storm outside. I'm sure that's not going to be very good, but yes, we'll hopefully be able to rescue them from any kind of dangerous stuff that's going on. Right, so I want to make this look fairly interesting. Originally, I was thinking, this rover, I want it to be uncrewed. But then I thought, well, I could make it crewed as well. We could have some avionics on it, which means that we are able to control it without a crew inside. But it might be a good idea to have some kind of crew capacity as well. So then we can go off on drives around the lunar South Pole, and like our astronauts can see more than the just outskirts of the base. So maybe what I'll do is I'll use one of these lander cans. And how many Kerbinauts can we fit in here? Just one. Oh, that's not a lot. And the Mark II lander can is quite big. It's pretty big, but I suppose we could go for something like this. And unfortunately, there's only one hatch at the back. How do I go about doing this? Because I kind of want the wheels kind of coming down here. It's a real shame that you can't get the rover variant on it. Oh wow, that's a lot of shielding. Yeah, you can't get the rover variant in Realism Overhaul. You've only got the lander variant. It's been disabled, which is a bit upsetting. But so also, Ray's made some base parts with regolith on. Personally, I think you should remove the RP1 from the next Millenia titles because it's more sandbox than progression. But I am playing with RP1 though. I do have career kind of, I've got money, and I am doing contracts and stuff like that because, well, I wanted to play with career and money and all of stuff like that. So stock can go, brr. Yes, indeed. First time catching a stream, big fan. Thank you, TMC rate 25 gaming. I can't read. I can't read. But yeah, no, this is still kind of, I've always called it RP1-ish, and even the playlist, the title that all of these videos go into, it is described as RP1-ish because it's not stock RP1, well, not stock RP1, it's not RP1 as in the traditional sense of RP1, but it's still, I'm still playing with RP1 contracts, I'm still doing contracts that I need to fulfill, and yeah, and I do have money to worry about. So I know you've already anything unlocked, so I would call it RO Career Sandbox. That might be something, maybe a better title for this. Right, so yeah, this I think can carry 2. Oh no, it can carry 3 people, and I think that's probably a decent size for what I want to do for an unmanned rover that is going to turn into a manned rover whenever I feel like it. Basically, that's what this is going to be. So I am going to want to maybe get some procedural avionics on here so that we can move it about. Where are they? There they are. I've got an awful lot of parts at the moment. There's a silly amount of parts, and yeah, I think I'll place that there like that. And yeah, I know I'm completely blocking off the module for this, but oh well, not to worry. I'm sure this will be fine. And yeah, I think what I'm going to have here is kind of maybe a big old structure which will have a docking port on the end, and then that way I'm going to be able to maneuver stuff around the moon. It's going to be very maneuverable, and things should go fine. And I think in order to do that, what we will do is we'll grab maybe some kind of circular truss, Maybe that might be a little bit too big. That's a bit too big. Maybe something a little bit smaller than that. That does seem rather large, rather gainly. And yes, no, we don't want anything quite that large. And then it's kind of like figuring out the kind of wheels that I'm going to use. That's too small. It's far too small. Yep, those are all far too small. That is probably too big. And that's the same that I was using before as the sections of the base that I want to kind of maneuver around. And maybe we'll go for something like this. Yeah, that looks like it could work quite nicely. And we're going to go for deep space avionics because this is going to be in deep space. I feel like 30 tons will be enough to land this. And oh, this is how do I make this look good? How do I make this look good? Maybe if I get a piece of structure, a structural component, something like this, and we just do a cone that is going to go from the size of the avionics all the way up to the size of this thing. Yes, I feel like that's kind of the route that I want to go down. And I think it was 2.5 meters this now, wasn't it? Yes, and this thing it's kind of, yeah, it looks really bizarre at the moment. So, Carnassa, will this series have things like near-far, interstellar tech, and in-depth colonies and ISRU? I would love to see things like that in an RO series, but I don't know if it's even possible. I don't think we'll have near-far future stuff, but colonies, maybe. That is something that I do want to do. With this base that I'm putting down at the moment, eventually, maybe I would like having, say, like 20 to 30 astronauts being able to live on there at one time and see if that's going to be feasible. That's why I'm making it modular rather than just having one section of a base. If it's modular, what I can do is I can just add to it whenever I want to and make it bigger and make it larger and have more and more astronauts join in, and it'll all be good. And I'll have modular power supplies, modular drilling sections, so that everything will be modular. And I think that will be kind of like the route that I want to go down for this. Maybe. Okay, so make that about 2.1. We'll make that just metal. Love a bit of metal. There we go. And there we go. It's kind of on its way. We're getting something working. I think what I will do is I'll either have a sky crane to lower this down, or I'll place some avionics on the top somewhere that we will be able to use to get this down. See, like most of the mass is there, so that's going to be really tricky to land. That's going to be very interesting to land. And yeah, I'm going to need... I might need some wheels at the front. And also, I could use some tank treads. that would be kind of cool, but I'm not sure how well these work. But yeah, what do people think? Generic wheels or tank treads for this? Because I kind of like the look of these tank treads, and that might be quite a cool little idea. I don't know how well this is going to kind of match up to... How much weight does this weigh? Jesus, what is... it's all the shielding. There we go. Oh, that's why the weight was all at the front. Yeah, we could go for some tank treads. Tank wheels. So Candice says wheels. Modular power supplies. The ATX kind? What's the ATX kind? Rear tank tread, front ski. So, Canassa, I'm guessing maybe things like Vasimir, fission, and low-level fusion reactors engines, but we want to keep things in the real of plausibility. If there are some configs for some kind of... Maybe tokamak. I think is it tokamak, the fusion reactor that is being developed in Europe at the moment, or am I thinking of something different? But kind of like maybe near future fusion might be something that I could go down, like very near future. Nothing that is really too far away. Do I even have skis? I've got long tank treads. I'm not sure if I have skis. Snowmobile style. Space tank will be used to do war on the moon. So I have been watching For All Mankind recently. And that is kind of one of the reasons why I want to do a massive modular surface base on the south pole of the moon. Because obviously Jamestown and all of that. And I've been thoroughly enjoying that show at the moment. So I want to kind of do something along the lines of that. Whoa, that's a big old... that's added a lot of... yes... a lot of I don't know what, but it's a lot of something. It's a lot of something, and it certainly did add it. So I think maybe if I move these so that it's kind of like just running alongside there, and we, we have a few of these at the front. I don't know how well these are going to work. Tokamak is the ITER design. Okay, so Space Tonk Pineapple. I would go with tracks, but yeah, no, I kind of like the look of this. It's very. I think the tank tread kind of like wheels really fit the kind of the design, the sort of design that I've got going on here at the moment. I do like that. So yeah, let's give it some shine. Give it some shine. Everybody loves a bit of shine. So Canasta fusion reactors are real and they've been running for a few years now. The issue is the power they produce is pitiful. We're still working on it. I thought the issue with fusion reactors is we need to put more power in to contain the fusion reaction than we actually get out. So we don't gain any, we get no net power from a fusion reactor. I thought that's kind of where we are with fusion reactors at the moment, but I might be wrong. I did look up this maybe about a year ago, and obviously a lot can happen in the space of a year. So it could be interesting, right? So I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's very wide, but it's, to be honest, I kind of like it, but I don't know. So how much does this weigh? 18 tons, and yeah, it should be more than sufficient to be able to move this around. I would like to think anyway. I'm gonna get a bit more shiny on because everyone loves the shine. Everyone loves the shine. I am a big fan of shiny stuff in RSS and RO and all of that. I think it looks very nice. Oh, I need a way of powering this up as well. That would be smart. I need some sort of power system. I think maybe what I'll do is I will just place a couple of solar panels on the top for now, and then leave this maybe connected to the base where it will be powered up by the nuclear reactor that I have on the surface base, which is it produces 100, I think 100 electric charge a second, so we should be okay. And then we'll take this out. I don't know how long the power's going to last, 15 hours. So yeah, we can go out on pretty long journeys for this. So that should be fine. And no, I don't want to remove all tanks. I just want to get the specular up on that connecting point. And there we go. We are good. We have a lunar tank, a moon tank. 18 tons to moon, yes. So Canasta Tokamak is a donut-shaped reactor. There also is a Stellaris reactor possible with a more complicated twisting shape. I'll have to look this up. I really want fusion power to be kind of like a viable technology at some point in the near future. I know when I was reading up on it about a year ago, I know the UK was working on one. I think there's one being worked on in France as well. And yeah, no, it's just not viable at the moment due to the really sheer kind of like small quantities of power that we will get out, if any power. Right, so, okay. Power, talking of power, let's get a couple of static solar panels that I am going to whack on the top, because that will be very, very nice if I could gain power from the surface, from the sun. It's always nice if the sun gives us free energy. Well, no such thing as free energy, but you know what I mean. We can leave this out in the sun and it will gain power. Where are the static solar panels? I honestly have too much in this save. I have way too much in this save. I've unlocked all of the non-RP1 parts as well, which makes it really difficult to kind of navigate. Where are they? Static solar panels. There we go. And if I just grab maybe a couple on the top there, and if we are in direct sunlight, that doesn't really provide an awful amount of power. So we're going to try and make these a little bit bigger. But I don't want to block off this, because I believe that will be pretty much the only hatch that our Kerbals can get out of. I think I'll put a ladder down on one side so that they can get up to the top, and then that way we will be able to put a crew in here. I think I'm going to go for, yeah, I want a different variant though, because I feel like these look a lot nicer. They look a lot nicer. They're more sleek, more I don't know. Yeah, they definitely look more sleek. So we get a couple of solar panels. That won't be enough to fully power us up, although I could maybe add a single solitary last one, and if I put that on the top, if I just get rid of my symmetry, we place that down there, and that will be enough if the sun is directly overhead to charge us up. I might place a tracking solar panel on here somewhere as well, but I'm not entirely sure where I want to place that. That's going to be it's going to be tricky finding a location for the tracking solar panel. Yes, I think maybe I'll be able to find somewhere for it, but first things first, let's get a ladder down the side so our Kerbals can actually get onto the top of this. Maybe place that there, extend the ladder, that will be long enough. I think those tracks are in kind of the same position, and hopefully they should be. So we'll retract that ladder. Maybe I'll move it up just a little bit so we can get to the actual top. I extend that, yeah, they should be able to get up there. I'm going to test this, I will test this so we can see if it works. Okay, all right, so, yeah, I need a tracking solar panel. I need a tracking solar panel, because it would be nice to have a couple of those. And I think maybe what I'll do is I'll place a couple of those on here. Only very small ones because we don't need them to be particularly large. If we go for maybe one of these single ones, we'll extend those. We don't need them anywhere near that large. We'll make them tracking. And I think if I get the scale down to about there, and there we go. That is okay. And yeah, that should give us maybe more than enough power. And it's kind of like I've just got a rover, a tank rover, and I've just thrown solar panels at it to see kind of what we can put together. Yes, it's hideously ugly, but you know what? It will do. And of course, because it's a rover, we are going to need some sort of light, because what if we want to drive in the dark? If we want to drive in the dark, well, we need to see where we're going, and it would be useful to have lights on. One thing that I'm kind of suffering with in this save as well is my whole cam doesn't work, which is really, really upsetting. So I've got nav cams and stuff, but so if let's just place one of these on here, and when we get to testing this, I'll kind of see what it looks like. If I just get one over on this side, it won't be, the camera position won't be where the camera is, which is kind of really annoying and really upsetting, because I do want to get some really cool kind of like scenes with using whole cam, because some of the whole cam stuff is very, very nice. Right, let's just grab a few lights, just light this up so that it's not pitch black when we're away from it. I'll grab a couple, place them on there, on the rear of this craft, so yeah, we can see where the docking port is. Where do those go? I move those like that. That should be okay. Maybe not. Just do that, and that looks all kinds of hideously ugly. So I think I'll just place a couple of lights there like that. And there we go. And we're going to gain some spotlights as well that I'll place on the top. So we can see where we're driving. And if I just rotate those, maybe, yeah, 15 degrees will be fine. So they're pointing downwards a little bit. Lights on. Doesn't really do anything. Maybe if I get rid of hanger extender, can we see what they are doing? Is that providing... Oh, it's providing a little bit of light. There we go. That'll be fine. So that tank rover, the lunar tank, we're kind of working on it. Uh-oh, mods have been activated. Look out. Oh, dear. Make a Dyson sphere in RSS. That would be rather difficult. That would be rather difficult. I think that probably wouldn't be feasible in the slightest. Has anyone made a Dyson sphere in stock KSP? Because that would be more feasible, but still, I reckon that would be incredibly hard. I think I've seen a video, I think it might have been Stratzenblitz or something, created a shell around Kerbin, maybe not around Kerbal, but... So, the sun is quite tasty. Hi, Canasta, remember me, Johnny Cole. I do. I recognise that name anyway from probably quite early on in my YouTube days. Back, what, like 8 months ago? 8 months ago. So it's almost a year that I've been doing YouTube for now. I think I started in, when was it? Like June, July last year. So it's coming up to a year now, which has been pretty cool. Pretty cool year. Right, so, yeah, we got lights, we got treads, we've got... treads. We've got more lights. I think, yeah, it's 18 tons. We've got a docking port on here, which we will be able to control. Now, I've got to see if this works on the surface of the moon. So I think we'll go for space tank in all caps, of course, because space tank is a very exciting thing. So we're going to save that. There we go. Space tank has been saved. And now what I need to figure out is whether this matches up to, before testing it, I need to figure out if this matches up to the base, because that is going to be crucially important that this docking port is the same height as everything else on the base. So we'll grab space tank, we'll whack it in here, of course, it's space tank, space to the kunk, there we go, space tank 1, and we'll save that, and I'll go back to the main lunar South Pole outpost. I'm going to load this up, and we're going to have a look and see if this is the right kind of height. I'm back. What did I miss? LSA, you missed space tank. You missed the tank of space. It's basically a lunar surface rover that has tank wheels. If I was playing with BD Armory, maybe I could even put some guns on it, but not right now. I don't have BD Armory, so we're not going to be seeing that any point soon. Right. So if we grab the space tank out. This looks tiny compared to the base. I thought this was huge. I thought this was really big, but no, the space tank is actually quite small in comparison. I thought, maybe this was, yes, that's a little bit too low. What height were they? It's 58, so I need to change those to 58 as well. Okay, so yeah, I can kind of get a feel. Yeah. Right, so the space tank wheels are way off. We are way off. These wheels need to be like here, which means they're currently floating. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, so I'll figure out a way of getting these. Oh, what the? What? What? Huh? What happened there? Interesting. Very, very interesting. That's a bit bizarre. Okay. That shouldn't have happened, but yeah, I think we want the space tank wheels to be around there. Maybe if I move them up. So that's quite a way down from what I had. Is there any like kind of reference point that I can use? So just underneath those lines is where the top of those wheels should be, I think. Or thereabouts, yeah. So I'm going to get rid of space tank. We're going to go back to space tank on the main section. We're going to get rid of that. Oh, it's causing my game to crash a little bit. Oops. But yeah, no, we're going to go back to space tank, save and continue. And I'm going to just kind of maybe put this all together and make sure that the wheels are in the right place. We're going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering or kind of figuring out where. So I think it was about there. Thereabouts was a decent height. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to get these treads to connect to the top of the system, because at the moment they're kind of floating in thin air, and I don't think we've invented technology that means we can have stuff just floating off the surface of our vehicle quite yet, no. So if we bring that down maybe just a little bit more, just a tiny bit, there we go, about there. I think that should be fine. And yeah, we'll move these back along to where they were. And now I've got to figure out how I'm going to connect these up, because yeah, they're floating and we don't want them to float. Okay, 1v1 me in Friday Night Funk. Oh dear, there's a funk off and I've not been invited. Oh dear, what's going on? Defrosty was spanning. Okay, all hail Queen Alicea. All hail Queen Alicea indeed. Johnny, feeling adventurous? Someone should make the Vuperis system in Copernicus. What is the Vuperis system? I've not heard of that before. I'm probably being very ignorant, but no, I've not heard of that. So if someone would kindly let me know what that is, because at the moment I feel like a bit of a lemon. Do we have any food and water and oxygen in here? Oxygen, 21 days. Put a crew in. Okay. So we've got 21 days, 20 days. So we can go out for a 20-day expedition with this rover. That's fine. That's fine. We don't need any more supplies than that. No, that's absolutely fine. We've got our power source. Now I just need to figure out a way of attaching these wheels in some way that kind of looks semi-nice. Can I scale these down? I can. Do I want them being that long? Probably not. I just want these to connect. Open long, closed long. I want it closed. Spinal modular truss. I'm using this for part of the base. Can I tweak scale these? I can tweak scale these. Can I just have kind of like this little truss that connects up the wheels? Just a little bit. Like we place the truss kind of there. It doesn't look very good though, does it? It does not look very good at all. Oh, this is tricky. How do I solve a problem like floating tank treads? That is a question. Help, the star! I'm still burning! I don't know what the star is actually called, but the capital of Vuperia. Peaches is the new meme, not pineapple. 743 days, Katniss, but TY. What's 743 days? Right, so, okay. Okay, we are going to grab this. Oh, it still doesn't quite fit. What do people think of this kind of like little square truss? Does it look a bit weak and flimsy? Because I feel like it does. It doesn't feel like it's going to be able to hold on these treads very well. But I might be wrong. Solid, basic. Yeah, we want a nice solid cap. A solid cap. Yes. And there we go. And what I'll do is I'll just grab another couple of these. I'm so not used to the controls, the camera controls in the spaceplane hangar. I really don't like it. I've never liked it. I never build in here. I never ever build in here because I don't do planes or anything like that. So this is all very new to me. Very, very new to me. Right. If I grab those there and I bring those down, something like this. and bring them across so that they are nice and connected. At least they've got something solid that is connecting them. Can I get that to a point where it's going to kind of like match both? No, I cannot. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. What I wanted was these to just kind of seamlessly blend into this section of the tank and then just, you know, kind of move along like that. But no, I don't think that's going to work. Oh dear. Oh well. What I can do is, because this is slightly longer, if I just grab these and place them in a line like so. There we go. And we've got some kind of tank tread system. Do we have enough length on this? Yes, we do. Okay, cool. We stand tortoise. Just strong materials. Yes, I think they are very strong materials holding these tank treads on. Yes, they are made out of some kind of incredible alloy that will be able to withdraw the bumpiness of the surface of the moon. Yes, the suspension on these is fantastic. It really isn't, but we'll kind of see how this goes. Right, so the space tank is... That's pretty much all I want this to be. Just a system of maneuvering this around. I can control from the docking port, so it will be easy to control this. I obviously need a way of getting this down on the surface of the moon. But before I do that, before I design kind of like maybe a new sky crane or something like that, I think what I do want to do... so we've got a center of mass there, so that should be okay to build a avionics system there and a sky crane to lower us down. Yeah, no, what I want to do is I want to test this out, and I want to test and see if this can drive along the surface of the moon just fine, because that is a very crucial thing for this to be able to do. So we're going to attempt to land on the moon and see how this goes. This could be interesting. I think I'm just going to start landed on the moon. If this doesn't work, what I'll do is I'll hyper-edit myself into a landing position. Is there a bit of lag in the stream? Because that's the second time that I've seen a couple of buffering notifications. According to YouTube, the monitor that I have up on the right should be okay. It should be fine, but I don't know. These things always kind of don't go according to plan at all. So I might be wrong. Now it's just a wait until we get to the moon. So, Canessa, do you know if far future tech is even possible in RO? I want to make a series like that when I get a better computer. Also, I have to go to sleep in a few minutes, so bye. I don't know. I think you can get Interstellar Extended kind of working with RO, although it's not optimized for RO. But I think the fact that mod, I think it uses kind of what you would generally get for those kind of drives that they had. So I think they had the Daedalus engine. And I think it's more than capable of being able to get you around in the real solar system and in realism overhaul, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if there's anything. There's nothing that has been specifically made. So, but yeah. So Tortle is a D&D thing, if I recall correctly. Is it? I don't know. So no lag, no buffering. Okay, cool. You had an Elytra. Wait, what? Where has the Minecraft chat come from? So I think... Oh, great, we're on the dark side of the moon. We're in space low. Wait, why are we... we're almost landed. Come on, lights, where are we? Are we landing the correct way? Looks like we are. Vessel has landed. Click the OK button to continue. Okay, so we have landed. So that's good. Now, do the wheels... Oh, we're moving. Look at that. We're moving at a whole whopping 5 meters per second. This actually moves quite well. This works. And we can move like this because we've got tank treads, so we don't need to be moving to turn. Oh, this is beautiful. This is glorious. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to... let's put the brakes on, and I'm going to time warp ahead until it's the day, which won't take that long, despite the fact that we're on the moon. Well, the moon has increased its rotation. For some reason, when you do crash tests on the moon, the moon goes a lot quicker than it usually would. So I'm hoping by the time we're going to run out of power, we will be in the daylight side of the moon. Come on, let's get to that daylight side. But yeah, for some reason, crash. Yeah, the moon is no longer tidally locked. The moon is no longer tidally locked. Look, we're in the Oceanus Procularum, and we are now almost facing away from the Earth. Oh, that sounded bad. But yeah, no, I just want to see this in the day and see if it moves okay. And oh, we've run out of communication somehow. Our relay network does not seem to be doing its job. That's not ideal. But yeah, look, there we go. Here we are, Sea of Tranquility, Sea of Serenity, all in the complete opposite side of the moon. For once, the dark side, the back side of the moon is making itself apparent to the Earth. Yes, it is showing its different side. It's showing a different face today for some reason. Yeah, I really don't know why that happens, but it's just a weird kind of bug glitch with Crash. Okay, so this looks like it might work quite well, which I'm kind of really kind of pleased about. So is this going to give us power? Got 5 hours remaining. No, this isn't quite enough to maybe power up the entire thing. Especially if we start moving the tank wheels. Oh dear, that's bad. Yeah, no, we're going to run out of power very quickly. Yeah, look, it goes from like 23 hours to 50 seconds. That's not ideal. But look, we can move across the moon in a tank. It's a lunar tank. Look at it go, and it's fine. The tank, the tank of the moon. Yeah, this is fine, and we can move this quite nicely across the surface. This worked way better than I was anticipating. Now is just the tricky thing of figuring out a way of being able to land this. And if we just whack the brakes on, and yeah, tank goes brrr. Nice, a lunar tank. Very nice. Cool. So yeah, well, that's the driving test done. It works. The lunar tank does work, but yeah, no, I think a few things that I need to do. I need bigger solar panels because that is it's just not going to provide us enough power. Won't provide us enough power at all, especially when I'm driving it. But yeah, one other thing, when I activate the camera, look, like you get all of this nasty kind of cut off, and it doesn't work as navcam should, which is a bit upsetting. I don't know what's causing that, but yeah, it's less than ideal. Right, so this should hopefully be able to maneuver us around quite nicely. Yeah, I think that's a successful test of lunar tank, of moon tank 1, of space tank, and I'm just going to see how fast I can get this to spin around. See if we can spin this. Oh no, it's not going to go much faster than this. Well, but yeah, no, space tank works. Space tank works. Now it just needs a big space gun. Cool, terminate. Let's figure out a way of getting this onto the surface of the moon. Easier said than done, probably. Call it the tortoise rover. I suppose we could. Is that where all of the tortoises in chat came from? It might be tortoise. It could be the tortoise lunar space rover. I quite like that. Nice emoji. Tortoise. Tortoise. How is tortoise even pronounced? I say tortoise, but I know there's like tortoise and turtles. I know turtles are different. Turtles have flappers. They flap. Tortoises have stumps. Yes, a very scientific representation of turtles. The differences between turtles and tortoises. Yes, turtles have flaps. Tortoises have stumps. So the tortoise tank. Yeah, I think this could be the tortoise tank. Yeah, I like that name. Whoever came up with that suggestion. Where was the last time that I saw it? I think. Call it Neptune Official. So if that was Neptune Official that came up with or suggested tortoise tank or tortoise tank for this, yes, no, thank you for that name. I think I will call that this. And I'll probably design like a really rubbish turtle logo. Yes, a turtle, not a tortoise logo, and we'll put it on the side and it'll look very cool. Cool, so how do I land this? How do I land this? That is going to be quite a interesting question. So I think, yeah, how is this going to fit in a payload fairing? This is going to be really wide as is. I think what I might have to do in order to get this to all fit in a payload fairing and be launched at once is do a little bit of transposition and docking for this. So if I get this over to the moon and I get this stage in a low lunar orbit with the system that's going to land it on the back here, yeah. And then once I've got my low lunar orbit, I just kind of like detach it and then move it over here. And then that way I should be able to fit it nicely within a payload fairing. I feel like that's going to be the way. And then we'll have our kind of like lunar capture stage and translunar injection stage over here. I think that's what I'm going to have to do in order to get this all sorted. And I didn't even test to see if the astronauts could get out. Okay, no, I'm going to quickly test that because I want to make sure that they can get out of this, because if they can't, then that's just a complete waste of time. Right, so I'm just going to do an orbit because I feel like an orbit will be fine. because we don't need to test this driving anymore. Oh, that's a bit high. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a quick test of this because this is crucially important. Crucially important. And we'll be back shortly. No, how about Tortoise Tank better than Rover? The Tortoise Tank? Yeah, we could call it the Tortoise Tank. The Lunar Outpost Tortoise Tank. I do like that name. I do like that name, and I think we will call it that. So, Canasta, the addition of a stock command pod is such a heavily modded game, feels really odd for some reason. Yeah, but sometimes the stock parts are just the kind of parts that you've got to go with. There's not really any parts in Realism Overhaul that are good for manned rovers like this. Like a big, kind of like the rover in The Martian, where it's all kind of self-contained. There's not really any good parts in RO for that. It's all command capsules. And I suppose you could use some of the plane capsules for some of the plane cockpits for it, but none of those work in a vacuum. Your astronauts will die very quickly if you put those on the moon. So 747 Tortoise. Oh, it's a jumbo tortoise. It's a jumbo jet tortoise. Of course, it would be Alistair that comes up with that name. Yes. Spinning around at the speed of sound. I was thinking of spinning around. For some reason, that put the Don't Stop Me Now by Queen into my head. But it's not. It's floating around, not spinning around. Anyway, so we are in space around Earth. Well, we should be momentarily. I have heard the astronauts do their cry to say that yes, we are in space. Cool, we are in space. And another thing that I wanted to do was bigger solar panels. Yes, and let's see. EVA, yes, we can get out. That's fine. That's all I need to do. Terminate simulation. Lots of loading screens. This is going to be a lot of testing on this live stream. So there will be a lot of coming into crash, coming out of crash, building stuff, changing vehicle assembly building to the spaceplane hangar. There's going to be lots of loading screens, which is a bit unfortunate. So the Lunar Outpost Tortoise Tank, the lot. It's pretty cool. Hey, that's pretty good. I do like that. But yeah, no. I don't know why I decided to go for the tank first. I think I just saw them and I was like, yeah, why don't we make something that's a tank? We'll land a tank on the moon and that'll be cool. Alistair is a skinny 747's tail fin, if you ask me. A lot of testing. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes. Well, a lot of testing would be good for me. Like, I know it was LOTT is in the Lunar Outpost Tortoise Tank, but yes, a lot of testing would be good because as it has been with Kerbal Gets Real, the next Millenia, so far I haven't really tested an awful lot. And I do need to probably test far more than I am. Let's grab maybe a couple of these and place these all over the shop. Yeah, we'll grab these all over. Why is my symmetry not working? There we go. Oh no, I've really gone and ballsed this up. There we go. We'll place those. Place another couple there on the kind of structure of the tank. There we go. And if we extend those, yeah, they are tracking. That's fine. There's only one of them. That's not fine. We want two, please. Two mirrored. There we go. And these solar panels, I imagine they won't be out at all times. This is kind of just for like recharging purposes. And maybe we will need them out when we're driving around. But for now, yeah, it's just for recharging purposes. Neptune official is a freaking genius. Yes, the Lunar Outpost, the Lunar Outpost Tortoise Tank. I really do like that, and the quick pun that they made as well. That was brilliant. That was super fast, super sharp, super quick. So, anyway, right. So we have a system. Yeah, the tank works. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to land this on the surface of the moon. And like I said, that's going to be easier said than done. So we probably want a docking port on the top. Now, I think I'm going to go for a propellant only because I only need a small one. And what I need is really this to go through the center of mass. And that's going to be tricky. If I could maybe place one of these up here and move that to about there. I think if I have that go up a little bit as well, I want this perfectly through the center of mass. Yeah, something like that. Then underneath that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another little piece of structure. Just so it kind of all blends in, because at the moment we've just got a floating docking port, and I don't want that. I really don't want that. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't want anything floating. We do not have the technology to make just things randomly float. No, we are not that far advanced. Where is my structure? Oh, I'm in engines. That's probably why I can't find what I'm looking for. No, I want structure. And what we'll do is we'll place this. I'll place this like this. And I'll just mold it around so that it kind of fits underneath the docking port. something like this. Is that in line? I don't think it quite is. I could probably do with making the diameter a little bit smaller as well. Go for that. There we go. Now we've got a tiny little section that's just going to kind of stick up, and we'll make this a little bit longer. And there we go. We've got a successful connection, a docking port that we can connect our sky crane kind of thing that we're going to be designing momentarily on. So part recoloring, we're going to go for shiny. Maybe not that shiny. That's a bit too shiny. Maybe that shiny. I do love the shiny. Shiny is very cool. Same here. Already told you to stop the emoji spam. Oh dear, there's been emoji spam. So yes, like there are mods in the chat now, so they will mute you. They will mute you if you're gonna start spamming. we've got the World Conqueror, Katniss, and Alisea, all mods on the chat. So be careful what you say, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful what you say. They are out there watching. They know, they can see. Okay, so cool. We've got ourselves this docking port system. Yeah, now what I need to do is have exactly the same. I need to grab one of these, flip it upside down, and figure out a way of landing this. So how am I going to do this? We are going to need, I think I'm probably going to use the Super Dracos for this, because it's 19 tons. This is quite a reasonable size to be landing on the surface of the moon. We just need to land. We don't need to do anything other than just land. And I feel like I kind of want like a triangular kind of shape, maybe with a cylinder at the bottom. I feel like that would kind of be what I want to see in this sky crane that I'm designing. Or I could potentially use the sky crane that I've already designed. And I mean, I've done that and it does work, so that probably would be a smart idea to use that. But you know what? Screw that. I'm going to design something new. Or do I? I don't know. Oh, let's have a look and see how much this actually gets us. I think I've saved it as a sub-assembly. Crane 1. Yes. And I think that might be a little bit too small due to the fact that, unfortunately, I can grab... Oh, no, I've ruined it anyway. I'm going to design something from scratch. Yeah, unfortunately, the Super Dracos would be burning into our rover, which would be less than ideal. You know, it'd be really less than ideal. We don't want that. That looks cool. I like all of the Raidenix parts. All of the Raidenix parts look really, really, really nice. But unfortunately, it's got a tank that's already configured, so we don't want that. No. I think it's MMH and NTO that the Super Dracos fire on, I believe. I might be wrong. I think Calvin was asking about this in the last stream that I missed. So if Calvin is here, I know he was here earlier on. This is non-RPO Aquila Ascent Tank. Aquila also being the name of my band. That's nice. Where is this from? Not supported by RPO. I'm assuming this is from Raidenix, maybe, if it's not supported by RPO. But yeah, I really like the look of this tank. I think this tank looks really, really nice, and yeah, it's a beautiful tank. It's lovely. It looks so clean and crisp and fresh and nice. Yes. No. Okay. Right. So I'm delaying. I'm faffing about and not really getting on with what I want to be doing. So let's actually get on with what I want to be doing. I did say that I wanted kind of maybe a cylinder section at the bottom. Maybe we'll go for about 4 meters, but we'll make this rather small, and then we can have a couple of Super Draco engines on either side of this. Yes, I think that is exactly what I want. So let's just type in Draco. And we'll go flip them up like that. There we go. 2 going in that direction. And if I were to make this into a high pressure tank, utilization all the way up, and we're going to fill it with MMH and NTO, what does that give us at the moment? That gives us 510 meters per second of delta V. With a thrust to weight ratio of 1.6. Burn time, yeah, this is going to be hard to land. This is going to be very difficult to land. oh no, I removed the solar panel. Let's get that back off. Let's get that back to where it was. I wonder how many times you're going to have to relaunch this mission. Hopefully, we only need to launch this once. Once and done. Once and done would be really nice, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. Well, it looks like we have made our center of mass go through our center of thrust, which is ideal. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. I'm using RCS build aid for this because that's really useful when you've got kind of weird contraptions like this. It really, really, really does help. So I want this as a cone. I want this as a cone, a conical feature. That's a fillet cylinder. We want the top to, I reckon the top maybe about, no, it's flipped upside down. Let's do this. Top like that. Bottom is, it's a smooth cone. We can go for a smooth cone. Smooth cone is okay. I will accept the smoothness. And we'll make that high pressure aluminium lithium like so. And we're going to fill that up with MMH and NTO as well. There we go. And we've got 143 seconds of burn time. That isn't quite enough to land us on the moon. We still need probably about an extra 400 meters per second of delta V or thereabouts. You know what I'm making right here? This is an egg-shaped sky crane. It's the return of the egg. The egg has returned in the form of a sky crane to land a space tank, the tortoise tank on the surface of the moon. Alicea laughing again. Yes, you can hear her through the other room. She is only in the other room. The walls are very thin. And yeah, it doesn't provide an adequate amount of of protection from the very noisy Alicea. Oh, I hate the space plane hangar controls. Why are they so finicky? Why are they so finicky? And really not what I want. Okay, so we've got the return of the egg kind of sky crane. Why does the tank have a turret now? This is the sky crane. This is the sky crane that we are going to be sending this down on. So, yeah, I need procedural avionics because I do need to be able to control this. That would be really nice. So if I just grab something like this is currently looking rather ugly, but oh well. We will deal with it. We will deal with it. What are my avionics looking like at the moment? We can have a look. We've got 65 tons. Avionics are sufficient. This weighs 45 tons. 45 tons to get to the moon. I think it can be doable. I think it's doable with the current kind of stuff that I have. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Okay, why is the tank now a dome? Yes, I've said this is a sky crane. This is a sky crane to build so that we can land this all successfully. Yeah, no, it's a sky crane. That's it. And this will be moved over to this side eventually. It won't be here permanently. No, it will not. So on top of this, I do want another NASA docking port because I think... Yeah. NASA docking port is what I want. Right, so where is the NASA docking port? Scroll through all my parts. It's going to take a while to get there. There we go. Let's place this on top of here. There. And the avionics are going to be tucked nice and neatly underneath it. And there we go. That should be fine. I'm going to change this to something like this. There we go. It looks a bit bizarre. It kind of looks a little bit like an engine. Like you've got the engine bell coming out here, and then you've got kind of maybe like a few fuel pipes and all of that up the top. So yeah, I mean in my weird world, in my crazy world, in my head, it does look a little bit like an engine, but probably to anyone else it looks nothing like one. So. So yes, there's that. We're going to place 4 of these on, and I'm going to make these MMH and NTO because that is the fuel configuration that I am using for this section. And then now that this is roughly firing through the center of mass, there is no torque indication, which is really nice. This should hopefully be able to land us on the surface of the moon or thereabouts. So I'm going to save this up. I'm gonna make, we'll save this up. We're gonna make this a bit shinier. Oh, look at that. Oh, I can see my face from here. No, I can't, but I can see the reflection of the vehicle assembly building. It looks really cool. Gonna make that, about 200. I like everything being really, really shiny and pretty. And yeah, so I did mention before what this is going to be able to do, right? So this is going to land us. This is going to be the sky crane that lands us, but we won't launch this like this. This section here, this part, will be attached here when we launch this on top of most likely an Olympus rocket. I'm fairly sure this will need an Olympus rocket. Well, it will need something. It might need something even bigger. But yeah, no, this will be connected here. Then when we get to the moon, we're going to do a bit of transposition and docking. We'll move this from over here and we'll come around like this. And yeah, that's how this is going to work. That's how this is going to work. And it should be all good. It should be fine. It should be okay. It's 201 seconds of burn time. That's not too bad. What's our thrust to weight ratio around the moon? The moon? 4.51. That's looking rather promising. That's rather good, rather good. Yeah, these Super Draco engines are great for landing big, heavy stuff. So with that being done, what I want to do is I do want to go over to the moon, and I want to see if I can land this. I want to see if it's going to be how easy it's going to be to control this, and whether everything works. So we're going to go for, I think maybe 60,000 is usually where I come into the moon from. So we're going to go for 60,000, and we're going to see how we can land this thing. Communism does not. It's a reference for all mankind. USSR anthem playing. Wait, what? Putting a tank on the moon to defend the mining site. Yes, I am. I am indeed. I watched... I'm still up to date with For All Mankind. I watched the episode that came out yesterday. I am so excited for new episodes of that show to come out. I've really gotten into it that, yeah, no, as soon as I realized it was Friday, I was like, it's For All Mankind Day today. I get to watch another episode and it's going to be great. And yeah, there was a few interesting events in the last episode. I'm not going to say any more than that because I do not want to spoil anything. So Not the Hero Type, smash that like button. Hello, So Not the Hero Type, and welcome to me landing Space Tank on the moon. Yes, it is Space Tank. We've designed a military vehicle that we are going to be attempting to land on the surface of the moon near Jamestown, near Shackleton Crater. No, we're not going for a Jamestown, although, as I did mention earlier on in the stream, I am heavily inspired by the events of For All Mankind, putting this moon base down. It's kind of made me want to do this. Because I have been watching that show a lot recently, and I do want to do something like that, and I think it would be cool. You could do a lunar orbit rendezvous with the Sky Crane. I could, but that would just add so many more extra parts. If I can do it the way that I've said that I want to, that should be okay. I imagine, so the Olympus can get about 160 odd tons to low Earth orbit. So I need this to land, and this is 45 tons, which means I've got 120 tons to do about 4,000 meters per second of delta V, which I think I can do. I think that's fine, because obviously I need 3,150 to get to the moon, to do my translunar injection, and I need about 800 to circularize once we are at the moon. Right, so I could attempt to land this at the South Pole, or I could just attempt to land this wherever comes first. I think I'll do that first. We'll try and land on the dark side of the moon. I will have constant communication because I do have my lunar relay network all up here, all looking very good still. Is it creating a lovely triangle? Can I see? Are you creating a beautiful triangle? I can't really tell from all of these, but yeah, it's a mess of antenna at the moment, so I'm going to get rid of that. I don't need all of that on. All right, so let's try and land this on the surface of the moon. And hopefully this will go better than landing the part that I did for the last moon base thing that I did. So I highly anticipate as well, for this live stream, I highly anticipate that I'm not going to be able to complete all of this lunar-based stuff in this live stream. And I feel like maybe my live stream, are you kidding? Why doesn't the RCS work? Are you kidding? Are you for real? Are you for real? The RCS does not work yet again. This was the problem I was having on Thursday. What is going on with the RCS when I crash test things? So can I have a space shuttle around the moon when? I don't think I'll be putting a space shuttle around the moon. I did talk about this in a previous live stream. Basically, to get the space shuttle done, you're going to have to circularize at low Earth orbit anyway. And it's just going to be a huge amount of delta V needed to send a space shuttle to the moon. If there were parts that were rated for lunar re-entry, that might mean different. Yeah, that might make it different. That might mean I can do something. But yeah, no. So I think someone was saying press execute last time. That doesn't do anything. Clear input locks. Will that do anything? I don't think it did. Input locks cleared. No, the RCS just doesn't work. And the tank treads are deciding to move. Can I deactivate these? Can I? Motor lock locked. Motor lock. I'm assuming I want these locked because I don't want these to be moving whilst I am doing stuff. So if we lock all of these, yep. Yeah, no, but yeah, I can't move. The RCS is not firing. There is no RCS on this whatsoever. I'm pressing buttons. You can see in the bottom left that things are moving. I've clicked surface velocity, horizontal velocity, up, down, left, right, backwards and forwards. but nothing seems to be working. So I think, yeah, this does work sometimes, and I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to restart the simulation until it does decide it wants to work. But yeah, no, nothing's going on. Nothing's going on. I reckon, though, if I fired up... Yeah, the Super Dracos work. Yeah, they're fine. They're good. We just have no control whatsoever. Which is less than ideal. I'm going to restart. If this doesn't work, I'm going to try and figure out something else that I can do to make the RCS work. Because this is a bit of a bummer. This is the second live stream that I've done that this happens. It doesn't happen in low Earth orbit. Well, it doesn't happen when I launch stuff in the real game. It's just when I do these crash simulations, for some reason the RCS just decides it doesn't like me. Don't know what's going on, don't know why, don't know how or if there's anything to fix. It's probably because I am playing on 1.10.1, which Realism Overhaul is not supported for. I've encountered quite a few glitches and a few bugs with this save, so this is probably one of them. One of the other ones being that my engines decide not to fire half the time. That's an interesting one, especially when I'm trying to land boosters, although in the last couple of episodes that I've done for the next Millenia, it has kind of worked fine. Nope, no RCS. Absolutely no RCS. No RCS. So we're going to terminate that and go back. What I might do, I might set this simulation up again, but what I will do is I will set it up landed at the launch pad on Earth, and I will hyper-edit my craft into a lunar orbit, and then that way, I think because I'm starting in the moon, around the moon, that might be one reason why this is breaking. So if I hyper-edit myself around to the moon and then test the landing procedure there, that might be a bit better, might make my RCS work. I've got my fingers crossed that will be... Oh, there we go. It looked like we were having a little bit of talk going on. Talking of talk... That was terrible. Right, so, yeah, no, this should all work fine. We've got high-pressure tanks, which are filled with MMH and NTO. They are MMH and NTO. Did I set these to MMH and NTO? Yes, I did. So that is all fine. That should all work. Yeah. It's just, it just doesn't want to for some reason. It really decides against it. So I don't know what's going on there, right? So yeah, what I'm going to do, I did mention it, I am going to start this on the runway. We'll start the simulation, see if our RCS works whilst we're on the runway, and then hyper-edit ourselves over to the moon and test the landing procedures of Space Tank, of the Lunar outpost tortoise tank, and still seeing, yeah, and then seeing if it works. So, Alisea, I'm sure he'll let you land it if you go ask nicely. Yeah, no, Alisea, I saw, oh, are you still ill? Yeah, she got better. She did start feeling better, but she had her COVID vaccine on Thursday, and she has suffered some very bad side effects. Yeah, she's really not been feeling very well for the past couple of days. So I am doing, I'm doing the stream just on my own today. I'm on my own. I'm all on my own, whilst Alisea is in the other room being very sick. Well, not very sick. She's feeling a bit better now. It has been a couple of days, but yeah, she didn't really feel like up to coming on camera to stream. So you'll be able to hear her laughing every now and then through those walls, because those walls are incredibly thin and all kinds of sounds get through. But yes. Alisea, speaking from experience. I would say it feels like I've been repeatedly beaten with a brick. Yes, definitely coming from experience there. But yes, Malcolm on RCS glitch again. Yes, RCS. I think it's because I'm playing on 1.10. Honestly, I reckon it's because I'm playing with an unsupported version of KSP for RO. Yeah, which... would you look at that? It works! We have RCS control. We have RCS control. It works. Everything is looking nominal. Yep, everything is good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the brakes on. I'm going to have to get rid of the motor lock on all of these again. And we're going to hyper-edit this over to Le Moon and see if we can land this. But yeah, I think it's just something to do with Crash rather than anything else. Crash just doesn't seem to like putting me around the moon. Now that I do this, it'll be interesting to see. Yep, no, active vessel is fine. We want to set the reference body as the moon, wherever the moon may be. Am I being blind, or is the moon just not there? Oh, there it is, moon, underneath Vesta. Okay, fair enough. So we're all, yep, that's good. So we're gonna go for 60,000, apply. And hope and pray. It still works. It still works. The RCS works. It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. It's not Christmas, but it's a miracle nonetheless. Okay, so we are going to do a little bit of a time warp around because I do want to be landing this somewhere where we can see. And yeah, let's just try going for a landing here. I know the far side of the moon is kind of pockmarked with craters, but you know what? We're going to try landing here anyway, because why not? It's going to be it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So what I want to do is I want to control from here. We are going to point ourselves retrograde, and we are going to attempt to land this thing and see how this goes. So we're only moving 1,647 meters per second. We have 2,109 meters per second of delta V in this stage, which should be more than enough. I need my landing, flight engineer landing little guidance meter up. I think Katniss said use the MechJeb suicide burn kind of thing. Where can I find that in the last stream? Will it tell me on here kind of like when I need to start my burn? Because that would be really useful. I think I can use landing guidance with the Super Dracos anyway, but I'm going to try and not use that for this landing. Yeah, try and not use that for this landing. Well, we'll see how it goes. But this is bleeding off our speed rather nicely. Let's do a few. Let's do a bit of physical time warp. I should mute you all. My sister had it and had the symptoms you've had. Yeah, when I got my COVID vaccine, I had very, very few symptoms whatsoever. I had a bit of a headache for about a day, but that was it. And I get a vaccine every year. I get the flu jab every year because being type 1 diabetic, I'm supposed to have those. But no, when I got the COVID vaccine, I was completely fine. I had a bit of a sore arm and I had a bit of a sore head, and that was it. And I had the same that Alisea had. I had the AstraZeneca one, and I was more than all right. I was completely fine. But yeah, some weird reason, it affected her quite nastily, which was a bit horrible. So I had to add it via custom window editor because I couldn't find it. Okay, so I'm probably gonna have to have a look at maybe doing something there. Where is that custom window editor? It's there. So I'm going to try and slow these Super Dracos down a bit more because we are killing our speed quite rapidly now. And whilst I'm looking at this, I'm going to make the physical time warp go back down to 1. There we go. Okay, so if we do delete... Oh no. Oh, did I just delete orbit info? I did. Oh no, that's bad. Oh, can I change that? Can I... Oh dear, orbit info. There we go, we've got it back. Oh, thank you. That would have been really bad. New window. So what is that? Custom info window. Where has that been placed? There. Right, so what do we want on here? Show in flight. Yes, yep, we just want it in flight. So how do I add things? I'm gonna have a look. All moon phase angles. No, I don't want... Surface info, vessel info, probably, maybe surface? Have a look. Altitude, vertical speed, no, it's not there. MISC, maybe? Auto stage, it's probably in here. Landing predictions. There we go. So we can add landing predictions. Okay, so custom info window. Show landing predictions. Aha, there we go. Oh yeah, no, it's in landing guidance as well. Someone was also saying as well, when I was attempting to land stuff in the last live stream that I did, that I didn't change this from that to that. The reason why I don't do that is I like having that up anyway, because that tells me where I am, where the atmosphere finishes. And in order to see my altitude terrain, I don't know if you can see this, but in the top here, I have that over there. So I can look at that and I can have my terrain altitude up there. And I can have my kind of like sea level altitude up there. And that's just kind of like the way I do it. I know people were telling me, they were like screaming at me in the last live chat saying, why haven't you changed it from sea level to actual? And I was like, I don't use that for actual. I've got a nice window over there from Kerbal Engineer Redux that I can see the actual terrain height. So that's why I do that. That's why I do that. Pfizer vaccine? No, I think me and Alisea had the AstraZeneca one. I think the AstraZeneca one is pretty much the only one that they're using in the UK now. I know the Pfizer one, because it has to be kept at very, very cold temperatures, I believe, and as soon as it is being in transport, it needs to be used. So I think that's why the UK uses the Oxford AstraZeneca one. And thank you guys for smashing that MF like button. Thank you, so not the hero type, for telling people. Figured I'd listen to Carnassa's angel voice as I drive. Oh, so you're driving. I'm assuming you're coming back from work. Because you are streaming later on, aren't you? Or at least you did mention that you were thinking of streaming. So if you are, I did say on the Discord that when you start, what I'll probably do is I'll probably finish this stream and then we will all hop on over to So Not the Hero Type stream as he teaches us about the joys and wonders of RP1, something I haven't done in a real long time. During early game RP1. Right, so we're going to fire up these engines a little bit quicker now. I'm going to get this down because we are coming in nice and close. So, time to land, 34 seconds. We need, Delta V needed. Well, that's that's not good. It says we need 0 meters per second of Delta V. I think we need a bit more than that, considering we are moving 140 meters per second at the moment. This looks like it's going to be a textbook landing, though. This looks like it's going to be all good and fine. So we're just going to make sure that we are sticking to our surface velocity. We are coming down. There we go. There's our landing indicator there. It's a relatively pockmarked area of the moon, pockmarked place of the moon, but it could be a lot worse. We are coming down very, very, very quick now. As in, we don't have long... Well, yeah, I think I should be going a bit faster than this. I think I've maybe started my burn a little bit too soon. We'll see. I have 300 meters per second of Delta V left. And 50 meters per second to kill before I land. But yeah, this should be okay. I am a little bit concerned that I might run out of fuel. Although, no, we won't. We'll be fine. 20 meters per second. Yeah, I'm going to have to kill the engines before we land, which is a bit of a shame. So, yeah, we'll kill the engines now. And then we'll fire them up again momentarily and hopefully perform a rather nice landing on the surface of the moon. How far up are we now? We are 300 meters up. And yes, we have 200 meters per second Delta V. I think once I hit 30 meters per second, I'm going to fire up the Super Dracos yet again. And it would be nice if we maybe come down at about 6 meters per second. That was a bit too fast, but we made it. Did the wheels brake? Please don't say, the wheel status is operational. We've landed the space tank on the surface of the moon, so I know this works. Cool. Yeah, it works. It works. We can get it down on the surface just fine. Yes, I love doing silly things like this in RO. And what we can do here is we just decouple this. I said we decouple this, we switch to this, and we kill the rotation, and then we just press Z. And we eat that off. And bye-bye, Sky Crane! And we leave the tank, we leave the space tank on the surface of the moon to, well, basically move all over the moon, move all over the surface of the moon, and yeah, this is very, very promising. This is very promising because this is going to be what I need to use to maneuver all of the parts of the base in place. I think what I might do as well is I might make that Sky Crane just a little bit bigger. Oh, we've got brakes on. But there we go. We can move. And we can, yeah, nice. This works. It all works. Yes, the space tank is go. And whoa, we slide all over the place. Yeah. Yeah, no, what I was saying is I might make the Sky Crane just a little bit bigger, and then I might be able to get MechJeb to do my landing for me, and MechJeb will be a lot better than me at targeted landings, and it also means I can get better cinematic shots if I do that, so it's another reason why I would like to use MechJeb. But yeah, now that we're on the surface, let's just make sure that we can get out and maneuver and make sure that we can get down this ladder, up and down this ladder, because this is another test that I did not do. So if we grab the ladder, come on, Boris Bogvadze, grab the ladder, man. There we go. So, yeah, we can come down and we can look at Space Tank in all of its glory. I think I'm going to get a screenshot of this because I love it. Space Tank and rules of 3 and all of that. You kind of want to have things in different sections. So, yeah, there we go. Boris, have a big smile because we're taking a picture. There we go. Picture done. Space tank. That is probably going to be a thumbnail at some point, maybe when I get the moon base actually set up. But yeah, we can get down the ladder. The ladder is fine. The ladder works. Can we get back up and into the command capsule? Because that is also another really important test. It looks like we're having a bit of trouble. Come on, grab and climb. No, this is too low. Yeah, Boris can't get up. Boris, yeah, come on, Boris, come on, climb. So we can do it. It's just a little bit finicky, but it is possible. So we brought him in there and everything is good. Yes, no, Space Tank is a go. Space Tank is successful and it is all ready to be put together. Cool. The Sky Crane is just lost forever in time. So there we go. Let's quit this. Let's terminate this simulation. And now I know that I can send Space Tank over to the moon. So what's been going on in chat whilst I've been landing this? Nice. Yeah, any Moderna people here? So nice landing. Thank you, Mark G. Sputnik. That was a very, 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 very nice landing. That was a lot better than the landings that I was doing last time on stream. Anyway, it could have been a little bit better. I did have to cut the engine once, but oh well, at least we touched down safely on the surface of the moon, which was really nice. So anyway, heading to bed now. Thank you, Wild Conqueror, for coming by the stream for the beginning of this anyway. What's the mod that give Kerbal's facial features? I believe that's Texture Replacer. I think. I might be wrong, but I'm fairly sure that that's Texture Replacer that gives Kerbal's those facial features. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Right, so now that I've done this, I do just want to kind of like put this all together in the correct place that it will be. So sides, plain metal. I want the ends to be plain metal as well. There we go. We have that on there like that. Then what I want to do is, this is going to be tricky because I need to figure out which part I want to route. I think I route there and I save Space Tank. And no, that's not going to work. Huh. I think maybe what I need to do is just do this one at a time, pulling it all off and making sure that it works. It's a bit annoying, but nothing else to be done. There we go. We'll do that. And we'll grab that. Like so. And then we will grab that on the bottom. And that can go there like that. Cool. And I need to make sure that that is connected roughly, well, exactly in the center. And there we go. That is Space Tank all done. So yeah, this should fit a lot nicer in a payload fairing being like this. We will do our transposition and docking whilst we are in low lunar orbit. Yep, and that should be fine. And I did say that I did want to make this slightly bigger, so I am going to make this slightly bigger. We'll give it a bit more length. A bit more length would never go particularly wrong. So 2,341 meters per second at delta V. That is 50 tons around the moon, which gives me about 100 tons to do 4,000 meters per second at delta V. That should be feasible. That should be okay. That should be, yeah, that should be all right. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm fairly sure that's fine. Right, so we're going to move Space Tank along ever so slightly and just whack you down there. Okay, yep, that's fine. Why have... oh, that's not good. They need to be the other way around. They need to be the other way around. Oh, that would have been very bad if I'd have missed that. Yep, no, that's good. That's what we want to see. Okay, yep, fine. Save that up. And now I just need a section, basically, that is going to get us over to the moon. And I think what I want to do is have one massive Hydrolox engine for this and have it so that we can do our translunar injection and then do our capture burn in a lunar orbit all in one stage. I just like doing that like that. So we'll place that on there like so. I feel like we're going to need that. Maybe we'll go for like maybe a 5 meter Hydrolox transfer stage or a 6 meter. Either one's fine. And what is our avionics looking like at the moment? We've got 65 tons. Okay. I might up that a little bit, and that way I can get away without having avionics on the transfer stage, which might be a smart... No. This is just going to add an extra part, though. Oh, no, I'm gonna make these bigger. We're going to make this go up to, say, like 170 or so. If I grab the avionics in there, and then I grab the avionics in here, and we raise both of those up so that we have maybe 170 tons controllable, because that's all I am going to need due to the fact that my largest launch vehicle it's 200 tons. My largest launch vehicle is only capable of lifting about 150 tons-ish. So, but I'll be on Twitch. I don't feel, I will be streaming, yes, when I get home, but I'll be on Twitch. It don't feel like you have to stop streaming. I don't know. I've been going for an hour and a half already. I'll see how long it takes you to get home. Usually these days, my streams, they're anywhere between about 2.5 hours to 4 hours long. So I'll see how long this goes. Right, so we want to grab ourselves a big old tank, probably one of the modular tanks. One of the modular tanks will be nice. Go for a modular balloon tank. Whack that on there like... Oh, it's really not enjoying that, is it? No, it was not having the time of its life. It was really not enjoying that in the slightest. No, so we're going to make this a little bit bigger. We're going to change this to cryo even, and then that probably will be far too big. But, you know, we'll see. See what we're kind of working with here. I'm going to create a Saturn IV mount on here. And there we go. So one thing as well, for the next Millenia, I just probably want to talk about this a little bit. People, I know I've had a few comments saying that people want to see me do build episodes again. I'm probably not going to do build episodes. The reason being is I'm probably going to stick all of my building in these live streams. And then that way, if people want to see kind of like what I do for building, it will be in these live streams. The Cobra H is far too big. Probably want an RL23P, which is what I use for the upper stage of the Orpheus 9. So I feel like, yeah, if we go for one of those, it's got about, I think, 1.1 meganewton. No, not meganewtons. Well, 1,100 kilonewtons. Is that mega? Is that mega? Yeah. So yeah, 1.2 kilonewtons of thrust this has. So if I grab that, do we have any upgrades on this? We do. So I'll upgrade that. We'll whack this full of hydrologs. See kind of like what we're getting from here. See if that's okay. We're getting 4,453 meters. No, yeah, 4,453 meters per second of delta V from there, weighing 165 tons. I only need about 3,900, so we can get rid of a little bit of this length. 155 tons. We can probably get rid of even more length. Probably want a little bit more than that. So I reckon 154 tons. Yeah, we should be able to get this to orbit with the... Oh, I forget the name. The Olympus. The Olympus. Yes, this will be able to get to orbit with the Olympus. This looks rather strange, but it works. It should work. Hey, Carnassa, is this an RSSRO version of Definitely Not Jamestown? Basically, yes. Yes, it is going to be, except it's more going to be an RSSRO version of Jamestown, because I've said it a few times on this stream already. I have been watching a lot of For All Mankind. I am really liking that show at the moment, and it was just kind of like not maybe inspired to do something like that base, but I wanted to build a big surface base on the moon. I wanted to have something big and chunky and wide on the surface of the moon. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. It's going to be a logistical nightmare to put together, but, you know, it's something that I want to do. It's something that I do want to do, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But currently, this is just the space tank, the space tortoise. The tortoise tank, which is going to maneuver our pieces of our base around, which is pretty cool. I really don't like how the space plane hangar works. Okay, so, yep, that's cool. We are going to need a few of these, though. We will need to be able to maneuver our craft once we get to low Earth orbit. So we're going to do 4 of these on here, like so. We'll grab maybe another 4. Oh, no. Before I do that, I do want to change the engines so that they are MMH and NTO. We'll go for that for this one. And we'll place that there like that. There we go. Fabulous. Is that the best balloon tank that we have to offer? Yes, it is. We are going to need to add some multi-layer insulation due to the fact that this is going all the way over to the moon, and it takes a little bit of time to get to the moon. So that's fine. The reason why I wanted a little bit more delta V than I did have, so I did have, it's just about 3,950 meters per second of delta V that you need to get yourself to the moon. However, I want a little bit more than that. I think I'll go up to 160 tons, because I want to make sure that we are polar when we get to the moon, because this is obviously going to the lunar south pole. So I need to do maybe a slight inclination change at some point. So that's why I want a little bit more. 160 tons should be fine, although we still do need to add some fuel tanks that are going to add MMH and NTO. So we are going to grab a couple of these integral radial tanks. I'm going to place maybe 4 of those around like that. There we go. And we are going to go for maybe, yeah, some MMH and NTO, because that is what we are using. It's, yeah, 50% MMH and NTO, although I need to upgrade that first to that. There we go. We'll whack the utilization up, maybe make these 1.2, and that's going to give us 4,145 meters per second. That's too much. No, we want to maybe only have 2 of these. Gives us 4,238 with 162 tons to low Earth orbit. I'm fairly sure the new upgraded Olympus will be able to do that, but it's going to be close. It's going to be very close getting this all the way over there. But, oh well. That's how, yeah, it's going to be really hard landing all of these base modules. it's going to be tricky. It's definitely going to be tricky. I'm not sure how feasible it's going to be. We're just going to color in those just so they look a bit nice. And there we go. We've got something going on. I am going to probably flag all of this up at some point soon, but that should be us all done, I think. There we go. Do that. That can go at the same time as those. Yep, that's fine. I want to get rid of the 4% on this. Oh, it's 0% at the moment. I did that already, apparently. Yeah, that's cool. That is Space Tank ready to go to the moon. Ready to go to the moon. Finally got time to watch my favorite YouTuber, Hugh Halfen. Thank you. Did I say that right? Hugh Halfen. I see you in the stream chats all the time, like all of the time. And I don't think I've ever said your name before. So I've probably absolutely completely butchered that and ruined it, but I do apologize. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream anyway. Are you trying to send that rover to Mars? Malcolm Anon, no, this rover is just going to the moon. The reason why I've got 4,238 meters per second is because I want to, I think I explained it earlier on. We want to do our TLI, we want to circularize at the moon, and then I want a little bit extra so that we can change our inclination so that we are in a polar inclination once we arrive at the moon. Right, so Space Tank is all done. What I'm going to do is I am going to, I'm going to save this one more time because I like to be careful with saving. It's German. I don't blame you for not saying it right. Yeah, no, I'm not very good with German. I did speak, I did once upon a time speak a little bit of German because I did German GCSE, but that was quite a while ago now, and I've forgotten most of what I knew for that. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time. Anyway, the reason I'm here is because we need to mount this onto the Olympus. The final crucial step of sending this to the moon. We need to mount it on our launch vehicle, right? So why are we all the way over here? Let's get this more central. Let's try and get this as central as possible. There we go. And I want to see if we are able to get the Olympus underneath this. And this will probably be the first thing that we launch on an Olympus. I feel like this will be the first section of the base that I launch because this is probably one of the most crucial pieces due to the fact that this is going to maneuver all the pieces into place. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be very important. Anyway, so we're going to get the Olympus out. And I am going to grab that. No, I do not want to delete that. Why is it saying to delete it? I definitely do not want to delete it. Also, is this the new Olympus? What is going on? Interesting. Oh, I think it's because I had the move mode thing on. 150 tons. One of these has been updated. One of these has been updated with a new engine, and I think the best way that I can go about finding that, so I want to save and continue, is finding out the old kind of like surface, ISRU surface thing that I sent down, because that has the new Olympus on it. So Space Tank, no, that's not what we want. We want, I think it was just called ISRU Test 1 or something, or I can't remember. Unknown part modules. What? That's interesting. I'm fairly sure I've not removed any mods since I've started this save, so that's really curious. That's incredibly curious. I don't know why what's gone on there, but that's a bit nerve-wracking. L Crane, no, it's not the H3 that I used. Horizon 1, that is my attempt at building an SSTO in Realism Overhaul, which went terribly. And where is it? Where's my I need to, I can't even remember what it's called, so this is going to make it way more difficult. LRP, nope, that's not that. I think, yeah, I just want to look for like the big boy Olympus. The big boy moon base lander. That's the CST landing capsule that I've semi-designed at the moment that we should be sending crew over to. Orpheus Heavy, no. Phobos SR, no, that's a sample return from Phobos. Polar Resource Extractor Test. That's what I'm looking for. Finally, there we go, we found it. Ooh, mystery rocket. What was the mystery rocket? Heuhaufen 2. Heuhaufen? Katniss wrote it like you're saying it. Heuhaufen. Okay. Yes, I am very, very bad at different languages. I can only really speak English, and that's about it. Once upon a time, like I said, I could speak a bit of German, but yeah, that was a long, long, long time ago. Oh, and of course, the RL23P is a bit of an annoying engine because what? Why are there two nodes just stuck out there? That's really bizarre. That's really, really bizarre. But yeah, no, the RL23P, or whatever this is called, RL20P3, it's a bit annoying in the fact that it doesn't have a node at the bottom. At least I don't think it does. So maybe if I turn... Yeah, no, look, there's no way that I can connect this to. Is there a way that I can maybe try and get this to work? Because I do want that engine. It's a very good engine. It's what I've been using a lot in this series, and I would quite like to have that if possible. If I get an interstage ring... I know a way that I can deal with this. I know how I can deal with this. I can create a boat tail adapter. Yep, we'll do that. We will make the base really tiny, and we'll make the top really tiny as well. Not that we're actually going to use any of that. Then we'll place that there like that. We're going to toggle that. There we go. And then we should be able to grab this and place this on the boat tail like so. There we go, and that should be fine. Then when we disconnect this, the boat tail will go off and everything is good. Anyway, this is yet another live stream where I'm showing off the Olympus. It's been a couple of times that this has been shown off, and obviously at the end of the next Millenia video is kind of like a big secret thing, like, oh look, new big super heavy launch vehicle that is going to be very cool. Right, so that will all sit rather snugly inside the ginormous payload fairing that we've got. That has changed yet again. I do not want that to have changed, and I think now that that's been done, have I tooled this up? Have I tooled the Olympus? Or is that going to be a real big shock when I need to tool that? 6 meters by 12. No, it does look... Yeah, I have tooled the Olympus because... yeah, that would be a lot more money than that. So that has been tooled up. I do have my first lunar landing contract, which I have yet to pick up, which is going to give me 6 millions advance in funds. So that's going to be really, really, really nice once I do that. Oh no, I picked up the wrong thing. Right, come on. The entire launch vehicle, please. Let's just move this up and get that out of the way. And there we go. Yeah, I think... What do people reckon? Should I test this from launch? Should I go to the launch pad now and make sure that this all completely works? Because I want to make sure... I think the Olympus does have enough in it. It has a high enough... It has enough tonnage to low Earth orbit that it should be able to launch this. So... But it would be curious to see. It would be curious to see and see if it all works correctly. Or do people want me to get on to designing other parts of the surface base? Because that is obviously what I'm going to do. Yes, might as well. Hey, Carnassa, are you planning to build a jet fighter for the moon? I don't think a jet fighter would really work on the moon, unfortunately, due to there being lack of atmosphere. So from launch, yeah, I think I do want to test this from launch because it's kind of... It'll be important. It'll be very important that it all works, because this is going to be expensive. We're starting to get into the region of missions costing multiple hundreds of thousands, so making sure that this all works completely is probably a smart idea. So, yep, that is fine. What are those solid rocket boosters for? They are the ullage motors there. Okay, so they want to go way up there. What ullage motors are those? Those are those, so they can go there. I've only got these launch stability clamps attached to the Saturn tower because for some reason, I don't know why, but these towers have a very nasty habit of wobbling all over the place. And yeah, it's just, it's rather terrifying. It really does not go very nicely. I don't know, Katniss, have you ever experienced that with modular launch pads? Or do you use your own launch pads? I don't know, but yeah, these things just have a mind of their own. They go all over the place, and they end up crashing into your rocket and all stuff like that. It's really not very fun. Right, so that goes there. Yep, then we fire off those solid rocket boosters. We want to put that up there, and I want to make sure that the ejection power is all the way up. That's cool. We've got the Saturn auxiliary stuff all ready and all good. And that is about... that's close. That's going to be really close getting to orbit. Going to be real close, but it should be fine. I think it should be fine. We could potentially get ourselves some more Delta V by by not reusing the first stage, but I kind of really want to make sure I do reuse the first stage. Because, yeah, I can unlock these, and how much more delta V will that give us? We've got 16,156 at the moment. It goes up, that gives us an extra 300 meters per second of delta V. That's quite a lot. That is quite a sizable amount that I will be adding if I don't reuse the first stage. But oh well, we'll see what goes on. We'll launch this from the launch pad. We'll start simulation. Cool. Draco-powered fighter jet. That would be rather interesting. I think we would run out of fuel incredibly quickly. Those Draco engines are powerful. The Super Draco engines are powerful, and they burn through MMH and NTO. Oh, well, like, at a rate of knots. Essentially, they're the launch abort system for Dragons. So, yeah, they have to be powerful, and yeah, we will be burning through our fuel very quickly. I'm not sure if it would be worth doing anything like that. I don't use modular pads. Oh, Katniss doesn't use modular pads. Pads? That wouldn't be a jet anymore, since it doesn't use jet engines. So I'm assuming you meant something that was maybe like shaped like a jet, but used Draco engines. Can I say, are you planning on making a starship landing on the moon? Maybe. That might be something that I potentially look at doing. I'm not sure, though. I did, in the trailer of the next Millenia, I had something that looked a lot like the starship landing on the moon. But I don't know. I'd have to look more into how Lunar Starship is going to work and try and figure out a way of going about doing that. At the moment, I've got my CST capsules, which I am going to be using for landing around the lunar surface base, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I do like Starship, and I like the whole kind of like design of it and all of that, and I think it looks really cool, and I'm really kind of like looking forward to every single Starship launch that goes on. And I saw that the first super heavy booster got all completely stacked up the other day, which was very, very cool. But yeah, no, I don't know. It might be something that I look into doing at some point. I inhaled my cat. Okay, that was a weird message to suddenly look over in live chat and see. Fair enough. How does one inhale a cat? How does one inhale a cat? You just kind of like sit there like with your cat on your chest, just like, oh yeah, that's some good cat. Definitely some good cat. So, Kanasa, have you applied for Dear Moon? No, I have not. I have not, probably. There's a lot of reasons why I haven't applied for Dear Moon. I would like to go to space, but maybe not on one of the first starships that goes to the moon. Also, yeah, I'm probably more of a liability than anything. Yeah, they'd want on a starship mission due to the fact that, like, I'm diabetic, and if my levels are bad, then things go bad really quickly. I think that booster isn't going to fly and is just an assembly test. Yes, no, that's what I saw as well. It is just to test the overall assembly of it, and I don't think it has any flight-capable hardware on it. So it was just more for testing how they can actually assemble the Super Heavy booster. I think booster number 2, from what I was reading up on it earlier on today, will hopefully fly, though, which will be very, very cool. Very, very, very cool, if that works. Right, so here we are. First test of sending a rover to... Oh, that's the wrong button. Sending a rover. That's the wrong button. Sending a rover. There we go. There goes the dampener arm. Sending a rover, the big old lunar rover, to the surface of the moon. We're going to test pretty much the entire components of this mission. Make sure we can get to low Earth orbit. That's going to be the first crucial test. So we are going to go for ascent guidance. I'm not going to send this over to the moon. I'm just going to test and make sure that all of the parts, now that they have been assembled, work together. So I'm going to get rid of FMRS because I'm not going to bother trying to land the booster because I don't really want to do that, not for this test. And we are going to engage our autopilot. We're going to go for an inclination of 90, 160 by 160, because 90 will be what I launch when I actually launch this. Uncaught exception. Oh, yep, no, the blue is not up. Blue is not up, so that would have been really bad had I tried to launch that. It wasn't going to let me launch it anyway, but yeah, I think maybe what I should do is there should be, and this is going to be really difficult to find, an avionics section in here. It's that. Can I get it? Please let me get that avionics, because I need to control from here. Unless, can I change the control mode from this? Can I say control point forward? Oh, we've got crew on board as well. That's not good. Control point up, control point forward. There we go. Yeah, no, that's fine. Right, so engage autopilot. Still not liking that. Oh, we should be able to get to orbit. We should be able to get to orbit with 733.1 meters per second of delta V left remaining on that readout. Yeah, that should be okay. So, I do want to test this though, and if the worst comes to the worst, I could always move a little bit of fuel from the reusable stage to work. But anyway, here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Oh, don't you just love the sound of the Raptor engines firing up on a crisp morning in Norfolk in the UK? And yes, we're going to just get this going. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road, and we will... Oh, hello. See, yeah, there's a little bit of wobble going on already from this. You can see it kind of like vibrating a little bit like that. Really not ideal, but I think having those kind of stability enhancers there will prevent this from really shaking all over the place and then going smacking straight into this. Also, that's not ideal. Why are these going all over the place? Can we... They're not deployed. They're just flapping about all over the place. They shouldn't be doing that because that's obviously going to be creating a bit of drag, a bit of air resistance, which we really do not want. We do not want at all. So maneuver planner, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to go for mech jet. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to do maybe a 3 times time warp to get us into low Earth orbit, because otherwise this is going to take a really long time. And well, to be honest, I've got a lunar base that I need to be designing. I've got a moon base that I need to do a lot more work on, and I want to make sure that that is all good. So yes, right, yeah, I really don't know what's going on with these. What's your favorite fruit? My favorite fruit? Probably, oh, I don't know. Favorite fruit? What do I eat the most? Probably grapes or raspberries. I like raspberries. Not keen on bananas, really. I'll eat a banana, but I'm not keen on them. Apples, they're alright. Oranges I like. I do like oranges, but yeah, no. Turn off pitch and yaw control when you click the grid fins. Ah, right. So yeah, we turn these off. That is probably, there we go. Yeah, that'll fix it. Thank you very much, Kian Narayan, for the comment. Yes, because yeah, that will have fixed it, and that is my own fault. I think I turned those on before. Oh, that does not look good. The payload fairing is so big that it's starting to open of its own accord, which is really not ideal. So we're launching at an inclination of 90, which means this booster will crash and burn up into the North Sea. Not that this really matters, this is just a simulation. When I try and attempt to land this booster, when I do this for real, what I will do is I'll launch it to an inclination of minus 90 degrees. That way we will be attempting to land this booster somewhere in France, which is what I have been doing for the vast majority of this series. Not a dirty joke, I like cherry. Yeah, I don't like cherries. I don't like cherry flavor. I don't know if I like actual cherries, because I think, well, from what I know, actual cherries do taste a little bit different from cherry flavored stuff. Cherry flavored stuff I just can't stand. Really can't stand. I think, yeah, when I was younger, I think I had a really bad hypo when I was force-fed, like, this kind of really sweet cherry tasting thing, and ever since then, like, yeah, I've never liked the taste of cherries. So, yes. I'm not keen on cherries at all. Ooh, that countdown matched my own capsule splashing down perfectly. See, I'm psychic, I know. I'm not really psychic. I'm definitely not psychic. I don't even believe in psychics or stuff like that, so I think, well, I don't know. A lot of people that do kind of like look into spacey research and chemistry and all of those kind of sciences usually don't believe in that kind of thing, because it's a little bit silly. Maybe it's a bit of nonsense, but I don't know. Well, people can believe what they are. People can believe what they believe. I'm not one to tell someone that what they believe in is silly. So anyway, we are about to have our first stage, our main engine cut off on our first stage. And we are going to have enough Delta V left, so this is good. That is good. That means we will be able to recover the booster successfully, and we should be able to get this up to low Earth orbit using one of those Cobra H engines, which are incredibly powerful. They only have 4 ignitions, but we don't really need more than 4 ignitions. We will have a little bit of Delta V left as well to perform a burn over to the moon, which might help us with our next stage, which will be very, very nice. This is all around looking rather promising. Now, the main thing that I've got to worry about is when we do decouple these payload fairings, which should be any minute now. I said any minute now. Come on, don't do me like this. Go on, payload fairings. Why aren't they detaching? They should be. We're at 116,000 meters. Usually they go at 105,000 meters. Ah, there we go. Yeah, now that was an issue. That was a problem. Something broke. Yep, no, that was a problem indeed. That's what I didn't want to happen. No! Well, what happened? Avionics procedural collided into payload fairing. Right, so yeah, I think I need to toggle the force of those a bit more. Oh dear. Oh dear, that's not good, because now we're not going to get into orbit with this thing. I'm going to terminate simulation, and we're going to go and maybe have a little look and see what we can do to fix that problem, because there should be a fix. MechJeb has never deployed fairings for me. Really? It usually you got auto deploy fairings at one point there. Another thing that I could do that would also fix that problem is turn off auto deploy fairings, and then that way, well, the fairings won't deploy. I can deploy them when we're in space, and it should be able to separate a lot more easily. Obviously, that does mean we're going to be moving up a bit of extra mass that ideally we could get rid of, but I think those fairings aren't particularly heavy anyway, so maybe it wouldn't be the end of the world if I were to just deploy those whilst we were in space, although it does also mean that we are going to be littering low Earth orbit with the fairings. They're never going to get back down to Earth, so that's why I like getting rid of the fairings early. Cherries. Raspberries are great too. Is this the lot? I haven't been watching for a while, just listening. Yes, this is the lot. We were attempting to launch it into low Earth orbit. We were attempting to do the first orbital test of this vehicle. It went badly, to say the least. Yeah, no, the fairings did deploy into the side of the capsule, well, the payload, and it all went really badly, so we're gonna have to do a few slight edits, and probably one thing that I'm going to do is make the ejection power go all the way up. Ejection torque, I don't know if I want to change that, because that might mean that instead of like going off like that, they go off like that, or instead of going off like that, they go off like that. So I don't know what is the best way to get around this problem, because ideally we don't want these very heavy payload fairings crashing right into this. I don't even know what it broke. I think it might have broken this avionics bit here, which is, yeah, that's not good. So if we get those away, we move those away a little bit, and that might be able to solve all of our problems, and yeah, that should be able to get us to orbit. So now that that is done, and do I retest this? Do I test this out again, or do I go on to making the next component for the lunar surface base? I'm not sure. What do people think? Test it again, make sure that it works, or go over to the moon and build some more moon stuff? Kanasa, can't you put separatrons inside the fairings? See, ideally this should be enough to clear the fairings, but I don't know. What parts mods does he have? Is there a mod list somewhere? So Leo2245, yes, there is a mod list, not on the description of this video. However, on any of my next Millenia series, which is what this live stream is for, any of the actual videos, the episodic content you made, there will be a mod list on there. I've also got a download video on how to install all the mods, which was out quite a while ago now. It might be getting a bit outdated, but yes, there are. It's all of the realism overhaul mods, basically, essentially. So, Kanasa, fix the fins. Fix the fins? What fins? Where are the fins? Oh, yes, these. The grid fins. Yes. Let's just make sure that they are inactive from the very start. Yep, that's cool. That's good. Awesome. For some reason, I'm doing a surface relay network. Basically, just a bunch of cell towers on the moon. Very nice. Cool. Cool stuff. Caleb, call it Alisea. Cool, what Alisea? This? So, Kanasa, oh yeah, no, I've read that already. He has a video called RSS Download Guide. Just look that up and you should find it. Okay, thanks. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so Scatterer makes the sun the size of Kerbal for me. I think you might have an incorrect version of Scatterer then, because there is a glitch in one of the older versions of Scatterer where you don't get the sun flare and it looks all kind of weird and janky and horrible. So yeah, no. I think I am going to probably leave this for now and get on to designing the next section of the lunar base, I feel like, or kind of maybe having a look at what I have done already, and yeah, seeing what we can work on next, what we can work on landing on the surface next, because there is going to be a lot of parts of this. There will be a lot of parts that we need to do, and there's one thing I think the next thing that I'm going to do is, if we open up the actual lunar South Pole outpost, what I want to do is these kind of little connecty parts. Yes, the connecty parts. That, oh, Okay, KSP64.exe is not responding. Oh, please work. Don't make me reopen the game. That would be really bad. That would be really bad. I'm trying to wait. Ah, there we go. We're in. We're in. We're good. We're good. We are okay. So yeah. The next thing that I think I want to do is work on how I'm going to land these kind of connection sections. There are 4 of them that I've got at the moment. I probably will want to land more at some point later on though. But what I want to do is I want to land all 4 of these at once. And I want to land them so like they are facing vertical on the surface of the moon. And then maybe have some sort of infernal robotic system where I can move these down. And it might be easier for our little tank to connect up with them that way. But I will be doing that momentarily. What I'm going to do, I am going to have a quick 5-minute break whilst I go refresh myself and get myself another drink and sort myself out. But I will be back in a moment. Until then, well, it'll be about 5 minutes. Until then, I've been Kanasa and I will see you shortly. Hello everyone, and I am back, and we are going to be working on the next modules for this lunar surface outpost. How was everyone in that brief intermission? Got myself some more drinks, got myself, well, injected up as well, because my diabetes, my levels were going a little bit high, so I had to go away and sort myself out with an insulin fix and get myself all sorted. But anyway, we are back in the spaceplane hangar. And what we're going to be doing, like I said before, just before I went, I think I want to maybe figure out a way of getting these onto the surface of the moon. And that's going to be a tricky proposition, and I think what I need to do is I need to make sure that these legs all match up, and then I can grab one of these and make sure that everything is good, because, well, as we can see from over there, that is they don't match. They do not match. That is not good. That will not do, not in the slightest. No, we need to change those around quite considerably. Yes, so what I want to do maybe is if I go for here and place these on this one, get these legs down to maybe, oh, I don't know where these will need to be. We go for 50, 57 again. That looks okay. That looks good to me. Yep, that will be good. And we'll grab another one of these and we'll just place that there like that, and that should be good. And then hopefully that should match up with the one over on this side. No, it does not. Oh, wait, no, that's, yeah. No, that kind of does match. That should match. That should match okay. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this and I'm going to start pulling this apart because I am going to need this. And then we'll grab this and I'll put this in a sub-assembly and we'll get to work on a kind of system where we can get 4 of these down at once, which will be pretty cool. So this is going to be the Lunar Surface, so Lunar South Pole Outpost, LSPO for short. And what is this? This is kind of like a connectro. There we go. Save that in our sub-assemblies, and I will get to working on something to make this land successfully, and then we can grab the parts and use the rover to move them around, which will be very nice. Okay, so I want to kind of connect all of these back up first, because I don't want to leave this all in pieces. That would be terrible. So we'll grab that, and we'll grab that, and we'll put that on there, somewhere like there. There we go. Cool. Awesome. So save that, and let's create something new. Hello, Destroyer. So what mod are the crew tube pieces from? They're not compatible with RO or RP1. I can't remember what mod they're from, though. If I go into structural, I can have a quick look. So I'm fairly sure that's where they're from. So large and structurally solid. I think they're from near future construction. I might be wrong though. If I go to mod filter and if we, there we go. I've accidentally gotten rid of everything. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to come out of the vehicle assembly building and come back in. I think they're from near future construction. They're not configured for RPO or RO. I don't think RP0 or RO or RP1 and RO, but they should work. They're not really, the way that I'm using them, they don't really need to be working for RO. So yeah, non-RP0 pieces I see. Yes, Connectatron, that will be the name of these Connecty pieces. Connectory pieces? I just remembered that my space station is missing a solar panel because Jeb decided he would take a little joyride with his EVA pack. Oops. Oh dear, Jeff is not... Jeb? Where did Jeff come from? Jeb is not the best of pilots. Well, no, he is a good pilot, but maybe he's not so good with his RCS pack. Station pass expansion redux. Oh, okay. Yeah, so thanks. I've been hunting for large stations and parts pieces, although my RAM is scared. I've got a stupid amount of mods for this save. I got 64 gigabytes of RAM before I started this series, so I could kind of really just go absolutely ham on all of the mods that I do have. However, it still takes a really long time to load. So non-RP0 parts, cringe. Yeah, I've gone for basically the kind of like the mindset that I went into, the frame of mind, I don't know, that I went into when I started this series was basically I've unlocked everything in the tech tree and Kerbal Gets Real. I got to the end of the tech tree with that. Everything had been unlocked, so I thought I might as well go into this with the non-RP0 parts unlocked as well. And I'm only going to use kind of parts. I'm not going to use anything that's like completely wacky and completely unrealistic and all of that, but I will use parts that kind of help me out, maybe design some cooler things. Because that's the whole point of this series. This is it's RP1-ish. I've always said it's RP1-ish because I do have money to work with. So it is a career mode. And I think as JM was saying earlier on, that I probably should rename it from RP1 to something like Sandbox Career. Realism Overhaul Sandbox Career, because that's basically what it is. I do have money that I have to worry about, but I do have everything unlocked. And yeah, no, I just want to make some cool designs and do some cool things like building bases on the moon and building bases on Mars and all stuff like that. That's kind of what I've wanted to do for this series anyway. Anyway, with that being said, we want to land these trusses on the surface of the moon. And I think maybe the best way of going about doing this will be to grab one of these quad adapters, and I'm fairly sure I have several of these, and this could make this really, really heavy, but we'll have to see. We will we'll have to see whether this is going to be feasible. There should be a nice quad adapter. I don't want any of the stock ones because the stock ones look absolutely poo. So we're going to go for a quad adapter. Let's have a look. This quad, that one looks all rightish. I think this is the one that I want though. Yeah. So yeah, what we'll do is we will grab this and place this. I think I need them to go upwards. Yeah, I think I do need them to go upwards. So we'll make this 2.5 meters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of these robotics and we're going to place some hinges on the top. Hinges, or these pivots, joint pivotron, basic. We'll grab, oh, hello. We want 4 of those like that. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to grab some of those NASA docking ports because that's what I'm going to connect these with. And that is basically, that's too small. So we need to make this a little bit larger. Maybe if we go for about 3.5 meters, even that's a little bit too small. So we might need to go for 4 meters. This is going to be a chunky thing that we're going to land on the moon, considering this already weighs 2.5 tons. And we haven't added any of the components to this yet. So this is going to be huge. And also, that being said, now that I've thought about it, if I want to land these and tilt them to the side so that we can connect them up to the rover, well, this is the joint pivotrons, as good as they are going to be, they're not going to be able to go through there. So look, if we, yeah, look, they're gonna kind of clip through. That's the word I was looking for, clip. And yeah, that's not ideal. So maybe if I move those to say there, that might be a bit better. And then we reset those so they're on like this kind of position. Yeah, that might work a little bit better. If I move these down so that they're kind of within, make them a bit smaller, we should be able to get rid of part of that with that. Yeah, there we go. That looks semi-okay. And then we can just move these like this. With a little bit of clipping, I'd like to imagine maybe that we have cut out some holes so that these can just move through like this. Yeah, we're not going to be clipping through anything. It's a bit weird, though. Weird looking. You sound like Matt Lown. Do I sound like Matt Lown? I know I'm British, but I don't think I particularly sound like Matt Lown. I did try and do a kind of Matt Lown impersonation on here before, but it didn't go very well. It's just he speaks very like this, and he's very excited about absolutely everything that he does, and it's very sharp and short and that kind of thing. That's what Matt Lown does, or at least that's what I feel like that Matt Lown does. He does stuff like that. So yeah, no, just because I'm British doesn't mean like I sound like every single other British KSP YouTuber. I know people confuse me with Beardy a lot of the time as well, and we're obviously both British as well. So yeah, no, I don't know where that comes from. Do we really all sound alike? Because I personally don't think we do, but then I've got a British accent. I know what different British accents sound like, and yes, I'm used to it, so maybe. Anyway, so I want to grab one of those connectory pieces. Where are they? Where did they save? Come on, where are they? Was it under... I can't read. There we go. LSPO connector. So if we grab one of these and we place these like this. So if we get that so that the legs are sticking out, there we go. And then that's what we're going to be landing on the moon. Something like this. And then, yeah, we can just grab the infernal robotics and we can do... Oh, no, that's the wrong way. Look at the move. Look at the move. Wow. And there we go. And then we can connect those down like that. Then what we can do is we can just get the space tank, the tortoise tank, to drive along, connect up, grab these, disconnect from there, move it around, and connect it up to the base as and when we need to. So yeah, here we go. Cool. So that will be that. Why are most KSP British? Why are most KSP YouTubers British? I don't know. There's a lot of different KSP YouTubers. There's a lot of I know there's a lot of American ones, especially in the RP1 community. Cosmonaut Crash, we've got Ray Space, N9, they're all American. Calvin McClaw, he's Canadian, and well, I don't know. Isn't Bradley Wistons? He's American, isn't he? I might be wrong. I've never really watched Bradley Wistons or Strats and Blitz. I watch a few of their videos every now and then, but I've never been one to sit down and like watch and binge watch through all of their episodes. Same with Matt Lown, really. Like I watch an episode of Matt Lown every now and then when it comes up and it's recommended to me, and I am subscribed to him on YouTube, and I will watch some of his videos, but I don't kind of like sit down and religiously watch them. Whereas I do religiously watch, say, like, all of the RP1 community videos, just because RP1 is obviously where my channel kind of came from, and RP1 is my favorite way of playing KSP. 70 likes, let's go! Thank you everyone for liking this video, for me attempting to put down Moonbase 2 Electric Boogaloo on the surface of the moon. Well, it's more like Moonbase 3. Electric Boogaloo, I don't know. But yeah, this is the third moon base that I've put down in RP1. First being Conglomerate, second being Basing with Base Face. This is going to be Untitled Polar Lunar Surface Outpost. So, right. I'm just trying to think how I want to land this. Because this could land like this. This would be fine if we landed this like this. Although it might prove interesting when we... the only problem that I have got with landing this like this is once we deconnect 3 parts, well, this is... Although that should be able to maintain the weight of that. That should be okay. So yeah, no, we could land this like this. We don't need any more landing legs because we've already got loads of sets of landing legs on this thing, so that's fine. What I need to figure out, though, is how I am going to land this. And I think, ideally, maybe... Well, if I... Once I get to the moon, if I set this so that this is like this and we can land like this in this rotation, that should be fine. When we launch this inside the payload fairing, obviously this is going to be way too wide. So we are going to launch it like this, which leaves us very little space in here to kind of fit something in. That's what I'm going to have to figure out. How much does this weigh as well? 33 tons on the surface of the moon. This is heavy. This is really heavy. I might have to do 2 at once. 2 at once might be the smarter idea. So, yeah, 33 tons on the surface of the moon. How am I going to do that? How is that going to be achieved? This is one of the greatest questions of my time, and it is something that I'm going to have to figure out in front of everyone right now. So I think, yeah, what we'll do is we'll grab ourselves a really large, big, flat tank. I am going to set these down. I think, yeah, I don't want anything up there. So we're going to grab Infernal Robotics. We are going to set this so that they are at their maximum angle. There we go. All right, I'm back. How are we doing? So we have built a space tank, Calvin McClaw. We have built a space tank. Funnily enough, I did just actually mention you. We've built a space tank which is capable of going to the moon, landing, and successfully maneuvering around the surface of the moon, which is going to be glorious. We are now working on the truss sections, the kind of connector sections of the base. How I'm going to get those down onto the lunar surface. Can I get rid of KOS? Where is the KOS button? There. And yeah, this is what I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do now. And this may be easier said than done, because I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. I may look like it when I do actual videos, but when I live stream, oh, that's when everyone realizes that actually, no, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing pretty much all of the time. And I just kind of blag my way through it most of the time. But no, I kind of do know what I'm doing. I mean, I've been playing RP0 and RP1 and all of that long enough that I kind of have some kind of inclination what I should be doing. Oh, hello. Oh, wait, that's the wrong... It's a Super Wyvern, which... Oh, it's a predecessor to the Super Draco. I've never checked the Super Draco. Does the Super Draco have any other engine configs, or is it just the one standard one? I believe it should be just the one standard one. Yeah, it is. It's just the one standard. Okay, so the is fuel, blah, 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 is too low. Pressure is too low. Yes, blah, blah, blah. That's that very well widely used word that I just came up with there on the spot. Yeah, no, that was bad. So 666 meters per second at delta V. Okay, and that weighs 43.5 tons. Oh, this is going to be big. I don't think I'm going to be able to land this. I think I'm not going to be able to land 4 at once. I think it's going to have to be 2. because this is going to be very, very, very big. Another Calvin? There can only be one. Calvin Rhodes. Hi, Calvin. I'm Calvin. Is that why you talk so much, to cover up your ignorance? Essentially, yes. I like to bombard my audience with a barrage of words rather than actually having anything meaningful to say. Well, you may notice. I don't know. I do know what I'm doing. I do roughly know what I'm doing. I may not be as competent as some people, but I have a good idea of what to do and what not to do. And usually I pick what not to do, but oh well. that's my choice. My choice. So yeah, I think this isn't going to work. I think this is going to be way too heavy, because currently this weighs 43 tons and we are only getting 664 meters per second of delta V for our landing. We need about 2,000 meters per second of delta V for a lunar landing. So yeah, this isn't going to work at the moment. So Carnassa prefers quantity over quality. With words? Yes, definitely. You clearly know what you're doing, because way more people watch you than me. But you're more informed about what you're talking about. You're definitely more informed what you're talking about. Like, I learn a lot when I watch a Calvin McClure video. And definitely go check out Calvin McClure. He's got a very great channel, very cinematic, very informative, as I was just saying. And yes, highly agree going and checking out his channel. So, yeah, no, this won't work. I don't know. MMH and NTO, that's what I want for those. Yep, because that is what the Super Dracos use. I can potentially maybe make this and see how much we're going to need to get... Oh, yeah, no, this is less than ideal. Who would have thought that the connecty parts of the bases, the connectotrons, are going to be the heaviest thing that we're going to set down? Yeah, I'm going to have to do 2 at once. I can only do 2 at once, which is a right shame. Yeah, I would like to do more than 2 at once, but I guess if this is what it comes to, this is what it comes to. So we're going to place those like this, like so. And if we get that there, like so, yeah. And then, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can make this a little bit smaller as well, so we can get the length down, and then I can put 2 tanks going up the side like that, and that will give us a little bit more room for fuel. And yeah, this only weighs 27 tons now. That's much better, but we are going to have to do 2 launches of these, which is a real shame. Oh, well, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse, considering all these are is connection pieces, which is, yeah, that's a little bit disconcerting. Ah, right, okay. There we go. We can set those up to -90 like that. And yeah, no, this gives us a bit of extra room for fuel tanks. Speedrun, Calvin McClure, yes, very smart, very smart. Carnasso just been to the moon and Minmus in the last hour and 30 minutes. Very, very nice. In the last hour and 30 minutes, when I have been streaming this, all I have done is build, well, this. What is this? This is, yeah, no, I've done more. I built the space tank and we've built the rocket that is going to send it up into orbit and all of that kind of stuff. But no, this is yeah, really, really slow progress. To be honest, it's not that slow. It's just figuring out everything that I need to do. This is going to be a complex base, okay? It's going to be... Oh, what's going on there? We've got flashing tanks. Very rude of them. Look at that. What is going... I'm not moving... I'm not moving the mouse. Oh, well, I've got my finger on Alt, but yeah, I'm not moving the mouse. The house? Oh, that sounds like I'm saying I'm not moving the house, but in a northern accent. Or in a very Essex accent, even, maybe. Either one is the same. Right, so tank, internal, high pressure, integral, aluminium, lithium, high pressure. Yep, that's fine. We're going to make these. Oh, no, I don't want 4 of them. No, we only want 2. We only want 2 of those, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Ah, donuts. Right, so yeah, no, we'll place those there. I'll place those there like that, and they can go through there, kind of connect up to the tank that I have underneath. And that should be okay. We're going to make these a little bit longer, and we are going to fill these up with MMH and NTO. We need probably about 2,500, maybe, or somewhere around that kind of region. Maybe not quite 2,500, but somewhere around that region, because it takes about anywhere between 1,800 meters per second to about 2,200 meters per second to land on the moon. But I am probably going to want to do a few weird maneuvers so that I can get these all matched up nicely with the lunar surface base, so I'm not having to drive really far away with my rover. So yeah, we'll do that. That can be those two sections in there. That's giving us quite a lot of delta V, but we can whack the utilization up on there. Can we do the same on here? Yes, we can. That gives us 1,876. So we need just a tad more, just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe if we go for, say, that there, because I kind of want this capped off where the docking port is. And we grab another one of these and just put this on the top, make it a smooth cone so it all fits. What is going on here? What is going on here? That's rather bizarre. Rather bizarre what's going on there. Okay, so, yep, smooth cone, round one, fine. We want the bottom to match up with that. We want the top to be 0. And we want to make the length very small. And there we go. We've got a nice little cap on top of there. Isn't it lovely? There. Yeah, it looks really strange. So, Canessa, have you tried Pilot 1549 real name? Go sub to him if you want. I've heard of Pilot. I've talked to Pilot. Yes, I have. Pilot has a very loud mic. Pilot's mic isn't very good from what I've heard. It's very, yeah, I think maybe he's working on getting a better mic, but I don't know. Where should I try and go next, guys? You've just been to the moon and Minmus, haven't you? So maybe the next port of call would be Juno? I'm not sure. So that happens when you use symmetry on proc parts. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Cool. So that's why I'm getting all these kind of weird issues with this. Fair enough. Okay, but no, that should be good. Right, so we've got landing engines. I do want to make these slightly bigger. And yeah, we will. I need to make sure that this is going to not touch the surface, which at the moment it is. Yes, it is. Or kind of. Maybe. That's going to be close. So maybe I don't want to go quite that far down. Maybe about 850 millimeters or something like that. There we go. Go to Eve. Eve is a tricky, is a bit of a beast to go to. Do a surface returning. A surface return from Eve. I've not done that yet. That's something I've never done in stock KSP. I've never been to the surface of Eve and returned. I think I've landed a rover on the surface of Eve, but never anything more than that. So yeah, I need a bit more fuel. I need 2,186 it's a good amount. It's nearly there, but it's not quite there. It's not quite what I want. So, Sono, stop texting and driving, you're going to crash. Is Sono back in the stream chat again? Is he still on his way back from work? So Sono is going to be streaming after me, I believe, or thereabouts. So I think, yeah, once I finish my stream, I'm going to highly recommend everyone going and checking out So Not the Hero type stream. I believe he is doing a How to RP1 stream, so if people want to learn a bit more about the ins and outs and the details of RP1, then I would highly recommend going and checking that out once I have finished this stream. And oh, there we go. I want to make sure that this kind of all fits in rather snug and rather nice, and I believe it does, yes. And we've got 2,298 meters per second. That should be more than enough, but you know what, let's just get some more. You know, the more the merrier. The more the merrier. The more delta V the better, and that is going to put us on about 47 tons. That might be a little bit too much now. So we can get rid of some of that. And then what we're going to do is essentially just use the same stage that I used to get the rover over. So yeah, these two sections here are going to be the same. Yeah, we can send these over, or we can send a rover. I know what I'd rather send my money on. Yes, definitely these two sections. Right, so we are done with this pretty much. I need some avionics in the middle, dead center, so that I can control this. And we probably could do with maybe having a few solar panels on here. Although if the avionics has enough power on there, we shouldn't need solar power. No, it should be all good. So yeah, we're just going to grab an avionics procedural module and place that smack bang in the middle. We can place that up there. I think what I will do is we will offset this, but we will put that maybe. So if we go for diameter of 2, we'll make a surface module 4, because that is the kind of surface module that we are going to be looking for. We need a deep space, and this, if we make it control up to about maybe 200 tons. 200 tons seems reasonable to me. Yes, we're going to go for 200 tons, and I'm going to offset that slightly into the center of this so we can just forget about it. There we go. Beautiful. We never need to worry about that avionics module ever again. So I say that as I come and try and find it again. 1,570 electric charge. Is that? Oh dear, that's all we have room for. That's not good. That's only going to last us 2 hours and 19 minutes. That's really not good. So I think what we'll do is we will make the avionics slightly larger. Yes, slightly larger would be nice. And can I even select the avionics anymore? Yes, I can. Cool. We're going to make them bigger. Bigger is always better. Well, not always, but in the case of now, bigger is definitely better. We're going to make that bigger. Then we go. We've got 3 days and 2 hours of electric charge. We've still got 2,339 meters per second of delta V. And in order to make sure that we really do not run out, well, let's just throw a few solar panels on this somewhere. Maybe like 4 in this direction, and that should do us just fine. And now I can no longer select those solar panels. Fantastic, because they are kind of stuck in the middle here. Come on. Why can't I grab you? Why can't I reach you? Let me touch you, solar panel. Let me grab you. Yes, very. Don't out of context that, because that sounded really bad. That sounded pretty bad, pretty bad. Right, so we're gonna place 2 of those solar panels on here. What I'm gonna do is we are going to grab these, turn them into the single one. We'll use this EOS AAA again, because that seems to be doing very nicely right now. We'll get perpetual power from those. If we turn on tracking, that will be good, and then that will be us done for this stage. Now, I think what I am going to do is that's looking very like we're gonna not have much room to land this, but oh well, that should be okay. And yeah, we're just going to go plain metal. We're going to open up our recoloring GUI, and we're going to go for specular, because shiny is nice. I do love the good old shine. Whoa, Carnassa, the solar panels are young. I mean, they've been in development since the 1950s, so they're pretty old. Yep, they're pretty old solar panels, maybe. So Carnassa, naughty thoughts. Naughty thoughts. So, hello, Landercan1. Hello. Yes, nice name indeed. I did use your namesake for something earlier on, I believe, or some kind of Landercan-ish. So, Dan Ruther, thank you for the $20 donation. Wow, thank you very much, man. Very enjoyable. Keep up the good work. Thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. And Katniss seems to be going crazy as well. But thank you very, very, very much for that donation, whilst I try and put together some sort of god-awful lunar base that is really, really not very good. I mean, I'm trying to be entertaining, but usually my designs aren't that great. If you want good designs, go for Calvin McClure. If you want some British boy just being a bit rubbish at RP1 and trying to talk his way through it, come to me. Yes, come to me. Nice. So, anyway, calm down, Katniss. Katniss seems way more excited than I am. Katniss is always excitable in these streams. Okay, so yeah, there we go. That should be fine. It's just a big silver tank. Yeah, it kind of looks hideously ugly, but you know what? Hideously ugly seems to be my middle name for making craft at the moment. I'm moving this all over the place without meaning to. So yeah, that's that done. What I want to do is move these up. Did he have a heart attack? Katniss very well may have done. Can anyone check on Katniss? Can we have a Katniss check? Make sure Katniss is okay. Because that was a lot of excitement for Katniss, and now he seems to have gone mysteriously quiet. Right, so yeah, this is this done, and this will be connector Lunar, South Pole, outpost, connectotron. There we go. LSPO Connectotron. Very, very, very nice name. Thank you, Katniss, for the name. For the Connectotron. Calm down. That's a $20 donation. Jet and Pog. But yes, thank you very much for the donation. Right, so we are going to just grab... We're going to save this up. I'm going to attempt to land it. No, yeah, let's test the landing capabilities of this. Yeah, I think testing its landing would probably be a smart idea before, once again, building up a stage that is going to send this over to the moon. Yeah, I think I should test more often in the next millennia, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we are going to, I think, move these up slightly because I want them to be just slightly out of the way. And let's just make sure that I've run through and done everything that I should do. So engine, that should be MMH and NTO. We're attached to an MMH and NTO fuel tank, high pressure. Everything is good. Let's start simulation. Let's hypercredit ourselves over to the moon, attempt to do a landing. And if that all goes well, then we will mount this on top of a translunar injection stage and then mount it on top of a Olympus again. 911, yes, hello. Katniss is dying. Can we get rips and Fs in chat for Katniss and Katniss's death? What mod is that moving docking port thing from? The moving docking port isn't from actually anything. Well, it's the NASA docking port, which is from stock, well, kind of like baseline RO. The moving part comes from Infernal Robotics. I've basically got a hinge that is moving the docking port. And yes, Infernal Robotics was kind of like the robotics mod before Breaking Ground was released. And I remember having Infernal Robotics before Breaking Ground was released. And I think Infernal Robotics does a better job than Breaking Ground. So MechJeb Ascent Guidance is weird, and I love it. Is it weird? There's a few kind of kinks that you got to iron out every now and then and check with MechJeb Ascent Guidance. Yes, it can be a bit strange, a bit bizarre, but for the most part, it works well as advertised. There are some times when it kind of goes all janky and a bit horrible, but most of the time it does work. And I swear by it, all of my launches in the next millennia are done with MechJeb Ascent Guidance because I like to get all lovely cinematic shots whilst I'm doing that. And yes, Sono might have crashed. Oh dear. Can we get a call out for Sono the hero type as well? Sono, are you okay? Have we just killed two of the most active members on my channel in one single stream? Katniss is gone and now Sono the hero type. So I mean, Ascent Guidance goes over my target apogee and I don't know why. It might be due to the thrust to weight ratios of certain stages. Oh. Yep, there we go. Look, we've got RCS control. Fantastic. That's exactly what we want to see. But yeah, no, I know our MechJeb Ascent Guidance is a little bit different within RO than it is in stock. So I don't know if you're using stock or RO, but if you're using RO, what you want to be doing is you want to be using Primer Vector Guidance, which is a very, very nice way of basically getting into orbit. So we want to go to the moon. And I think we'll go for 60,000 yet again. We're going to apply. And there we go. One great thing about HyperEdit is you can move the planets. I don't know if anyone's seen that before, but you can move the planets around. And as I was messing about trying to get footage for the end of Kerbal Gets Real, I just moved like everything into the Saturn system. So we had Saturn next to Jupiter, next to Mars. Mars was like a minor moon of Jupiter. It was quite fun. It was a rather enjoyable experience. Right, so now that we are here, now that we are at the moon, what does the moon have to say? We want to go retrograde and turn this around very, very, very slowly. And of course, what we also want to do is that looks like we are going the wrong way. No. I need to set my control point to be reversed, apparently. So control point, where is it? There should be a section to change it from forward to reverse. Control from here, yes. But that does not look promising in the slightest. We need to go prograde, because we're just going to be burning that way. Okay, so we're going to have to go prograde with this, which is interesting. So we're burning the wrong way round, which might make this very interesting indeed. But now what we want to do is, now that we are around the moon and we do not need to tuck these away in a fairing, well, we can make them whoa, they move quick. Oh my goodness. Right. They move very quick. And they kind of wobble all over the place. I want these both to be at minus, or I want these both to be at 0. There we go. Well, we've got a bit of wobble. There's certainly a little bit of wobble there. And I don't entirely understand what's going on with this RCS. Because currently it's not pointing prograde. So if I kill rotation and try and get myself to stick towards prograde, we'll see what what we can do. So, Canassa heading to Juna now. Good luck, Wretched Music 87. Good luck with your Juna journey. I do hope you manage to touch down on that far-flung red barren planet, or orangey browny barren planet. Yes, very, very exciting indeed. A Juna mission. Wobble. There's a lot of wobble on this. Yes, indeed. Oh dear, you know what? This is going to be rather tricky trying to land this. This is going to be really tricky because I can't just click surface velocity and let it follow that. Oh dear, there's a lot of wobble. Look at that. That's insane. Yeah, the whole thing is kind of like, with the force that we're exerting on this, that's not ideal. Huh. Well, I'll see if we can get this down, which I'm fairly certain we will be able to get this down. It's just whether we can get this down safely remains to be seen. Safely down would be, of course, very, very nice. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. We've got 2,000 meters per second of delta V remaining, which should be more than enough. It's just, of course, getting this down. I don't like how that's wobbling around. I really don't like how that's wobbling around. We have a flat line in chat. Oh dear. So someone asked about Sono, and Sono, of course, is flatlining. Oh dear. Rip Sono. Rip Cadnis, although Cadnis appears to have made his way back from the dead and is talking in cat yet again. Yes, there is, of course, wobble, wobble, wobble. There is a lot of wobble. There is indeed a lot of wobble with this craft, and it's not going well. I don't like this. We need to follow, basically we need to follow the prograde vector, I feel. Or maybe even the surface prograde vector. So yeah, I think if we follow this should be okay. So we're going 1,000 meters per second now. I think what we'll do is, oh good, okay, no physical time warp. Physical time warp is not a good idea. Oh no, and this is moving me. I can't, there we go. If I go for, yeah, if I time warp, then that will stop that from happening. Wow, this is going to be an absolute pain to land. Yeah, I'm not going to enjoy landing this at all. Maybe there's a better way of coming up with this plan. There very well might be. I might be missing something really bad here, but for now, this is what I'm going to stick with. We're going to fire up the Super Dracos again and start slowing ourselves down again. It's a bird! Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's just the connectotron for the lunar surface base. It is neither of those things. It is 2 hollow tubes that our crew can walk through to get to different components of the South Pole base. It is, but it has decided to sprout wings and begin to fly over the surface of the moon, despite there being a lack of atmosphere. So even though it is flapping its wings, it is flapping its wings in futile, because, well, it's not going to get really any lift from the lack of atmosphere that we do have on the moon. Although the moon, it does have a very, 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 very insignificant atmosphere, if I believe what I've read before. Like, it does have an atmosphere. It's just very, 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 very weak. Like, very, very, very small. Like, so small and so weak that it's basically inexistent. It's a truss! It's a truss! That time warp was a mistake. That time warp was indeed a mistake. I probably should have known better, but as I have said multiple times during the course of this stream and during the course of my entire channel, I like to do silly things. I like to test the game in as many ways as possible and try and, yes, just do really silly stuff. Gains lots of delta V. So you remember your UAV? No, we didn't see him for so long. I do kind of remember that name as well. Yes. Gains lots of delta V. Wait. Oh, I think that message was retracted anyway. Put legs on the tank and deploy connectotrons after landing. So the reason why I wanted to have a rotor on this is because if I launched this like this, it would be really hard fitting this into the payload fairing, especially if I want the translunar injection stage over here. Although I could launch it, say, like this and have the TLI stage on one of these ends. However, that would make this really long, really, really long. Like it would be much smaller if I just had it coming this way. But that is kind of like a route that I could consider going down, and we could put some maybe landing legs on this or something like that. We'll see how I can go about doing it. I am currently playing Roblox. Northern Truckerman? Well, I have never played Roblox in my life. I really don't know what it's about. I think it's a bit like Minecraft, isn't it? But I'm not sure. I really don't know. I've never played it. So that's a big old crater off in the distance there. Look at that. We've got loads of cratery goodness over there. Oh, beautiful. So are you sure those arms won't snap off? Have you considered auto-strut? The reason why they're moving around so weirdly is because they are connected using an infernal robotics part here. So this is supposed to move. Unfortunately, it's not supposed to move quite as much as it has been, and that is that is a bit of a concern. But I'm gonna have to look and see how I can maybe make a few minor edits to that when we actually launch this thing in the episode that, well, I'll inevitably launch this in. I feel like that'll be in the next episode. I've got a lot of Mars stuff coming up. I've got a lot of planned missions to Mars. I've got the Mars glider. I've got, what else have I got that's going to Mars? There's quite a few bits. Quite a lot that I've got going to Mars, and I'll see, probably we'll start the moon base in that episode as well, which I would like out at some point this week, but I've still got a lot of designing to do. Obviously, I've got all of these designs to do, and I have a lot of uni work to do this week as well, so yes, I'm going to be very, very busy, very, very busy. Right, so I think I'm going to kill the Super Dracos now, well, momentarily, because we're slowing down quite rapidly. Yep, and look at that. There go the floppy legs again. They're going all over the place, having the time of their life. Right, so the RCS, yeah, let's just turn that off for a bit, because I don't think we need that on. I'm going to wait until maybe we get to about 20 seconds on that burn countdown, potentially. Or maybe 25 seconds. I'll go for 25 seconds. Yeah, I feel like 25 seconds might be okay. So we'll start these up again, these Super Dracos. We'll burn them very, very slowly to begin with. We are 4,000 meters above the ground, coming down at about 125 meters per second. Things are looking okay. The legs are wobbling slightly, which is, of course, a little bit concerning, but we are now 100 meters per second. We are 2,500 meters above the surface of the moon, going about 90 meters per second. This is all going rather well. 1,500 meters above, going 80 meters per second. This is going to be good. This is going to be okay. Yes, no, this will be fine. Why don't you use breaking ground parts? Because breaking ground parts aren't compatible with realism overhaul. They don't work as far as I'm aware. And so I've got infernal robotics. And infernal robotics usually are better than breaking ground parts anyway. I probably just need to pick a better part. Did I just kill the engines by accident then? No, I did not. We're coming down at 30 meters per second. 400 meters above the ground. We're still losing speed, a little bit of speed. I probably am going to have to cut the engines again, which is, it's a bit of a shame. I did not land this very well. Yes, no, we are going to have to kill the engines. Even at that tiny little throttle, we are going to have to kill them. So, yep, we're going to do that. I'm going to kill the rotation. Wait until maybe we get to about 20 meters per second. There we go. We'll fire up the engines again. Here we go. Nice. And slowly now, let's fire those up a little bit more. And 5 meters per second, and we touch down on the surface of the moon. There we go. So this can land, and we have 220 meters per second of delta V remaining in this stage. But obviously, there's a few issues with this. There's a few kind of things that need to be fixed, such as the random wobbly vibrations that seem to go on when I try and land this. Yes, no, it wobbles and vibrates all over the place, which is, yeah, not ideal. Really, really not ideal. Oh, and the game seems to be frozen. What's going on? Oh, it's trying to do a quick save. And yes, but where are we? We're on the surface of the moon, and this is all looking rather good. Rather good. Lovely, lovely lunar surface. Earth off all the way over in the distance there. And yeah, looks good, looks good. So yeah, I think there are a few kind of edits that I do need to make to this, but for now, it works. It kind of does what it should do, but it probably could do it a little bit better. But yeah, I can land it on the surface, so I feel like I'd say that's a successful simulation of landing Connectotron version 1. So, you know, I'm him. Wait, who's who? Interesting. I think I know where he is. I was that talking about Joey Fitno from before? Have you changed your name? Have you changed your name? Sono, you're alive! Gordon's alive! Sono's alive! So Not the Hero Type is alive. So, yes. I almost died. Did you almost die, So Not the Hero Type? This is why you shouldn't be watching a Carnassa stream whilst you drive. I would highly recommend against that. I cannot be held personally accountable for any car accidents that happen during my streams. So, yes. No, I think, yeah, I as long as Sono's alright, yeah, honestly. Hope you're okay, man. But we are going to return to the vehicle assembly building. And maybe have a look at what else. Well, not even the vehicle assembly building, it's the space plane hangar. We'll have a look and see what we can do with more of this stuff. I suppose, yeah, maybe the next thing that I do want to do for this is just whack in one of those. So LSPO Connectatron, I do what I want. I am almost home. So Not the Hero Type is almost home. So if people don't know, So Not the Hero Type will be live streaming after me over on Twitch, doing a how to RP1 live stream, or so I gather, from what he has said over in the Discord. So people, for those who don't know, Sono is obviously the person who runs my Discord. If you haven't checked out the Discord, I would highly recommend checking it out. Pretty cool community, lots of stuff going on, lots of help for problems. That seems to be what it's mostly used for, but there's a fair decent amount of chatting going on as well. And yeah, no, it's a nice community, so I'd highly recommend going and checking it out. There is a link to the Discord in the description of this video as well. But yeah, Sono, I have to kind of plug Sono because he does run my Discord for me, so definitely go check out his live stream after my one finishes if you want to learn a bit more about what to do and how to do RP1. Because I did that at the start of Kerbal Gets Real, but it's been a while since I've been doing anything like that. So, do you want to save the Silent Craft? Yes, I do, because I just want to merge the rover, the space tank. We want to merge space tank to, well, this. Space tank contains experimental parts. It's a very experimental space tank. Obviously, any kind of space tank is very experimental. Sir, I don't get what TWR is. Does it need to be higher or lower for stock? So TWR is thrust to weight ratio. So anything above 1 means you're going to go up. If you're below 1, you won't be going anywhere. Basically means how quickly. So it's your thrust to weight ratio. So if, yeah, it's gonna move you, it's how quickly you can burn through your delta V, essentially, in a nutshell, in a very, 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 very poorly way of describing it. But yes, there's probably much better descriptions of it than that. Yeah, because I'm bad at describing things apparently. But yeah, and if you want to launch, you want higher than 1. Usually, ideally, you want thrust to weight ratio of somewhere between like 1.2 to 1.5 for a launch vehicle. And then in space, it doesn't really matter what your thrust to weight ratio is, because you're not really fighting against gravity or atmosphere or anything like that. You're in orbit, so you can have a really low thrust to weight ratio, although you might want a slightly higher one if you feel like it's taking forever to get anywhere. So there's Space Tank. Space Tank is looking beautiful, looking very bizarre. It looks odd. It looks very odd. And I think this weighs about the same as Space Tank, so we should be more than fine getting to the moon. So 4,400 meters per second on, I'm assuming, oh no, that's, yeah, 4,500 meters per second. Yeah, that's fine. This is more than capable of getting over to the moon and landing successfully, and we'll be able to land connectors, although this is a very expensive launch vehicle to launch to be able to do that. But then landing a lunar surface base, a modular lunar surface base, was always going to be an expensive endeavor. So that is something, yes. I knew what I was signing up for when I started doing this lunar surface base. I knew it was going to be time-consuming, costly, all of those kind of bad words that we throw about, bandy about, and do all kinds of, yes, it's bad. It's a long process. How has to make more thrust than the vehicle's weight? How much thrust your vehicle makes compared to the weight? Is that going on about the thrust to weight ratios? J Ceratops, hello, I'm here now. Welcome. Welcome to the lunar surface base that I'm trying to put together, and it's going, well, it's going all right. I have built some, well, these connectotrons, which is basically how we're going to connect separate parts of the base together. And yeah, it's been okay. it's been fine. And all I'm doing is going through each individual part, figuring out how I'm going to get them down. We've built a space tank. We've built a space tank that will be able to maneuver all of the parts once they have landed on the surface of the moon, pick them up, then connect them into all the different sections of the base, which is going to be fine. It's going to be great. And I've landed the space tank. I know that the space tank can work, but here is the base as it is so far. So these connector parts, that's what I've just been working on, getting 2 of these down to the surface. I have, yeah, that's basically it. I've got these connectors and the space tank down. Now I need to figure out which section do I do next? Do I do this hub connector, maybe the nuclear power tower, which has a nuclear reactor on the top, which is why we have these big old radiators here. And I decided to add some antenna just for, you know, looks. I thought the looks looked good, so yeah, why not? Let's make the antenna there for looks. Let's make the base look pretty. And then we've obviously got our CST Starliner return modules, which are going to be very cool as well. And then yes, this drill section, which is going to be using ISRU, in situ resource utilization. I'm getting whiplash going between 1963 and then 2000s. Lucy's stream just ended. So they were doing Mercury, weren't they? I think from what I saw on the announcements, were they launching Mercury stuff? And doing some satellite contracts from what I imagine. But yeah, no, going from that and then suddenly Lunar Base. And then, yeah, everyone's been streaming tonight. I know Sono is streaming later on after, or at some point during this maybe, and I'm going to tell people to go and check out his stream as soon as that starts. And yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely everyone is streaming tonight. So I think, yeah, no, the next thing that I am going to do, I think I will figure out how to get this section down to the surface of the moon. Now, this is going to be a very, very important section to send down, and it's going to be something that we have to be really careful about because it has a nuclear reactor on the top. Yes, and we don't want to be, well, blowing up the moon with semi-improvised nukes. Well, yeah, it probably wouldn't do an awful lot if we landed this. It's only a teeny tiny little reactor, although it produces 100 electric charge a second. So this is non-RP0, but it is configured for RP. It is configured for RO, so it's not completely cheaty, the route that we've gone to create this. No, it is only semi-cheaty within an RP1 save. But this is, as has been mentioned before, this is more kind of stock. More kind of career RO career sandbox, because I do have money that I do have to worry about and all of that, but I've not got a tech tree to contend with. So I said it already, I'm not streaming. That's a liar. So am I playing on 1.8? No, I am playing on 1.10. This is on 1.10.1. It's not officially supported for RO. And because of that, we get a lot of bugs. There's a lot of issues. There is an awful lot of issues that I have to contend with. Power tower! So yeah, we're going to save that. Okay, cool. And then we've got this mining rig here that I do need to make a few slight edits to that as well. So what we're going to do is, wait, we're going to cancel this. I'm going to attach these all back up. I want this all connected. I want to make sure that this is all connected as and when I leave it, because I want this to be all perfect. And yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to work on the power tower and try and figure out a way of getting that down to the moon. So do you want to save the current craft? No, I don't want to save it because it shouldn't be anything that I've changed. FTL Design Bureau. Hello, Pesky Bird. Hello there. Hello, Pesky Bird, and welcome to the stream. Welcome to me attempting to put together some lunar surface-based shenanigans yet again. Obviously, I did something like this on Thursday, and I fully imagine next Monday, or the next time that I live stream Kerbal Space Program, we will be doing exactly the same thing. Trying to put down a surface base, or figure out all of the different parts that I want for the lunar surface base. So how much does this weigh at the moment? This weighs 11 tons. That's not all that bad. This might be one of the lighter components of the lunar surface base. So yeah, this is this is looking rather promising. So yep, that is, we need to get these down. Oh no, I meant to press 2 for those. Why is my 2 not working? Okay, interesting. I can't use the offset tool. or rotate or anything. It's just vanished. It's gone. I can't change. I can get RCS build aid up, but I can't change my root part. I can't. Maybe if I hit that. No. No, it's just not. It's having a bad time. Huh, what is going on? Why has this happened? That's really annoying because I need to use that quite frequently. Okay, has anyone experienced this issue before? What I was saying is I obviously play on 1.10, which is not officially supported, and I'm going to be encountering bugs all of the time, which is obviously what has just happened now. Oh, good golly gosh, why has that happened? Why has that happened? Well, I can try and match these up just by placing them, which is really not ideal. Really, really not ideal. Drag new parts in. So if I just grab that, place that. Ah, there we go. Oh, it worked. It worked. Thank you very, very, very much, FTL Design Bureau. You saved me. You are my savior. You made you made that work. Yes, no, that was all kinds of terrible. And yeah, now we've got that there. So the reason why I want 4 of these is because I potentially want to have this as kind of like a hub. I did, well, a hub. Yeah, a hub more than a hub. I did mention right at the start of this stream that I do have my drill sections, and maybe what I could do is have a drill section going off there, and then we can have multiple drill sections. And I believe we've got enough power coming out of this single nuclear reactor to be able to power at least maybe 2 of these. And yeah, I could always land more of these down. They're not particularly expensive, 72,000. It's a bit, but it's not a huge amount. It's not a massive amount. But there we go. Right, so we've got this. This is all done. I need to figure out a way how I'm going to land this, because the landing legs are on the bottom, which is going to make it rather difficult, because, yeah, this is a bit of a weird design to try and fit some kind of landing engine on. I think probably the best thing that I can do, or the way that I can go about doing this, is potentially maybe using drop tanks with engines on them. But I'd rather not go that route. But I think, realistically, that's kind of like the only way that I can think of that I'm going to be able to land this. It weighs 12 tons. So, yeah, we'll try doing this. I'll try doing this. Well, what I'll do is I will just get some integral procedural tank, integral structure of these. We'll place those on there like that. We'll go for a fillet cylinder. And yeah, make those a little bit wider, maybe like 1.5 meters by length, maybe about 3 meters. We'll put a fillet at the bottom so we can kind of just like, yeah, make it all smooth and nice and circular. Drag new parts in, press the click through button, that'll fix it. Oh, the bottom. Yes, no, thank you for all of the suggestions. But yeah, FTL Design Bureau obviously really helped out there, because I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea why that was so kind of janky and weird, but I've never encountered that before. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the Gemini, although I think it's pronounced Gemini, even though I hear M9 when I watch M9 say it, and I think I've heard Lucy say Gemini. But I don't know, Gemini is just how I would say that, and I think that's wrong, because I think that's not how it's said at all. Right, but yeah, I want to have a look and see if the Advanced Gemini landing engine is capable of landing this on the surface of the moon. I believe it should be, but I don't know. I might have to go with the Super Dracos. However, the Advanced Gemini landing engine might be okay, but that might be an engine that I do remove from my game, because it is part of FASA, and I am looking at removing FASA, because there's just too many parts, and it really clogs up my loading time. Where is that engine? Where is that engine? If I go for advanced, no, it's not saying anything. Advanced Gemini or Gemini lander engine. There should be one on here, and it's a little tiny little engine. There we go. And it's highly throttleable. It's got unlimited ignitions, which is glorious. And yeah, we can place these on each one of these. The only thing is, it is not gimbal. It does not gimbal. It is not gimbal. Yes, it is not gimbal. It does not gimbal, so that might be a problem. Yeah, that might be a problem, but I'm sure that's one that we can get around. Aerosine and NTO, that is a fuel config that I've not actually used yet on this game. So we get 2,800 meters per second of delta V, which is more than enough. That's loads. What's our thrust to weight ratio? 1,213 seconds. Whoa, that's a lot. We need more engines. We need more engines than that. We need the Super Dracos. We need the Super Dracos. Unfortunately, the Gemini landing engines were not to be. We're going to go back to the Super Dracos for this because they are powerful. They are very, very, very beastly. They can land. They can land on Jupiter. They can overcome the gravity of Jupiter and land on there, probably. Probably not, but yeah, these are probably the most powerful landing-esque engines that I do have at my disposal, so we are going to be using them an awful lot. Carnessa, no, you are correct in your pronunciation. So it's Gemini. Gemini is what I would usually say, but I've heard a lot of people call it Gemini. So, anything special to get RSSVE to work on 1.10? Mine causes weird edge of the world blue void from the surface until I hit space. I don't know. I just, for my visuals, I downloaded Jesus Rodriguez's visuals, which I think if you go on like his 1.110 video, he kind of like links all of the mods that he uses for that. So this is going to be way too powerful, having all of those. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 of these engines at 45 degrees. It does mean we're going to have the engines on here. Although, I think what I could potentially do is at some point, I think, is that avionics at the bottom? It is avionics at the bottom. Did I create 4 by accident? I meant to create 2. So we're going to go 2, 4 at 45 degrees. There we go. We'll place those there. But yeah, no, once the base is all down and everything has been all set up, what I might do is I might get an engineer out with a drill and basically remove kind of parts that I don't need anymore, such as the landing engines. I feel that will be kind of like the way that I want to go. And maybe we won't detach these, but we will use them for something. So if we fill these up with MMH and NTO, and if we enable crossfeed on these, there we go. So we get 2,471 meters per second of delta V. This weighs 33 point something tons. That's fine. That should be enough to land us. I think I'm going to maybe make the length go up a little bit as well, just to make them even bigger and better. Bigger, as I mentioned earlier on in the stream, bigger is always better. Oh, that's what they like to think. 1.1.10 video. Is that what I said? 1.10.1 video even. People probably notice this. I stumble over my words all the time. That's probably because I speak so fast when I do videos. And yeah, I mess things up when I speak all the time. I think in not the last Millenia video that I did, but the one before, the one that came out last weekend, I said something like booster 2 number, or there was a bit at the end where I completely got the sentence that I was reading out the wrong way round, which was a bit bizarre. But yeah, no, the last 2 videos that I've done for the last Millenia, those have been the first 2 videos that I have done. I've just sat down in one go and recorded a voiceover all in one go. Usually I spend loads of different takes doing them, clipping them all together and editing them. But no, the 2 last Millenia videos have all been done in one take, which has been rather nice because it's stressful doing voiceover. And I always listen back to it thinking, yeah, that was terrible. Like, I need to do that again. But yeah, I just kind of like sat myself down, forced myself to do it all in one go and see how it turned out. And I thought it didn't turn out too bad. So yeah, we're going to go for foil because foil always looks good. Always need that foil for that insulation, except we are using a hypergolic fuel, so that probably doesn't really matter too much. But there we go. Silver, this is all nice and silver, looks all kind of pretty and cool, and we should be able to connect the tank up to this, and that should be fine, and this should be more than adequate as soon as we add ourselves some RCS for a little bit of control. We're going to grab the big ones again, the big boys. I do love these big boy RCS units. Yes, they are very, very nice to use. And we're going to fill those up, and we're going to make sure that they are running MMH and NTO, because that is, of course, the fuel configuration that we have been using for the vast majority of this kind of lunar surface base. Controllable mass, 5,000 tons. I think that might be a bit too much, and it needs to be deep space. So we're going to make this control about 230 tons, because that's what we should need, really. And yeah, look at that. We get loads more delta V now that we've moved that down from 5,000 tons. Oh, whoa, how much battery power do we have? Holy battery power, Batman! That's a lot! That's huge! Although I suppose that will be good for the surface of the moon. Maybe I do want to keep that. In case the nuclear reactor decides to go in a bit of a meltdown, having a lot of electric charge in reserve might be a good idea, but... well, it's currently... That is a lot. That is an awful lot. But maybe that should be good. So bye, I'm going to go watch For All Mankind. It's a very good episode. Well, I enjoyed the episode. And yes, go and enjoy. Do enjoy watching For All Mankind. I did enjoy it. Kanasa, it looks like you are building a home for humans at Lunar. I am indeed building a home for humans at Lunar. That is what I am doing at the moment. This is going to be the power tower, which is a nuclear reactor on top of this tower to try and get it away from my astronauts. Well, ideally, what we could do with this is we could bury it in the regolith or in the ground around the moon. Yeah, bury it in regolith, but unfortunately, due to the constraints of Kerbal Space Program, we are unable to do that, so I'm going to put it up really high instead. Not sure that's going to provide adequate protection, but it's just what we've got to do. We can't bury things like this in the ground. It's just not how KSP works. And then we've got these rather large radiators that are sufficient to be able to cool this down. And we can run this nuclear reactor at full power at all times, which is going to be nice. But I think maybe, I mean, this should be more than sufficient. I should be able to land this. We're basically using the same kind of architecture that we have been using before, although still the fact that this costs 73,000, I am kind of inclined to test it, just because I do want to try and test all of these different components, and then that way I do know that they all should work. So I could get onto another piece of this base, but no, I think, yeah, I'm going to go out. I'm going to test this, because then that way we get to see me attempting to do another lunar landing, probably inevitably failing, and it'll be very funny. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to start off on the runway, though, due to the fact that for some reason RCS decides it's having a bit of a bad time if we start anywhere other than the runway. So yeah, we're going to go to the runway. We're going to hyperradiate ourselves over to the moon. We're going to attempt a lunar landing with this, and hopefully the nuclear reactor on top doesn't have a bit of an unexpected meltdown. And yes, we're going to try and land on the surface of the moon. So, Kanasa, are you going to terraform the moon? I don't think I'm going to terraform the moon. I think that might be a little bit tricky. Yeah, no terraforming of the moon, no terraforming of Mars, unfortunately. If I was playing maybe something like Surviving Mars, then yeah, that would be something that I could do. But unfortunately, I don't think that's really going to be anything that we can do within KSP RSS, unfortunately. There we go, the Tower of Power. That is indeed what it is. How did you set your launch site in the UK? I was able to set my launch site in the UK because I downloaded a mod that added a load of additional launch sites, and one of them was Norfolk in the UK. I believe it also added Hull in the UK, as well as about 5 other sites in the UK. And yeah, no, that's kind of how I did it. There is a mod that adds loads of additional launch sites for RSS, which is pretty cool, because I did always want to do some launches from the UK. Obviously, I am from the UK, if the accent did not give it away, so it's something that I have wanted to try for a long time. And yeah, no, the UK is it's quite hard to launch from the UK due to the high inclination of launches, but oh well. Hull in the UK. Yes, it's called Hull. It's called Kingston upon Hull. That's where I lived for a very long time. It's where I went to university for a while. It's where I met Alicea. It holds a sweet spot in my heart, Kingston upon Hull. Yes, I spent a lot of time there, about 7 years. And yeah, I've got a lot of friends there. I should probably go and visit it again some point soon. And one thing I've realized, I have not placed any lights whatsoever on any of these components. And whoa. Yeah, we've had a bit of trouble because I haven't got the radiators extended and the reactor was turned on from the very start. When we launch this, for realsies, I should try and avoid that, because we wouldn't want to have a reactor meltdown. No, I don't want planet editor. No, we want orbit editor. Yes, no, I don't want to have a meltdown on the launch pad. That would be very bad. Luckily, there is an auto abort kind of system that stops us from breaking the reactor, so we've got that at least. Let's go to the moon. We're going to go for an altitude once again of 60,000 meters, because that's kind of like where I always go for my lunar landings, usually, or thereabouts, depending on the thrust to weight ratio of the lander that I have got. So Here we go. Oh no, I didn't turn the RCS on before I hyper-edited over to the moon. Whatever am I going to do? Am I going to be able to control this? Yes, I am. Fantastic. That's always a good sign. We're going to get rid of Ascent Autopilot, and we are going to... What am I going to do? There was something that I was going to do. Oh, yes, of course. We need to extend the radiators and turn on our nuclear power source because we do need to be able to have a source of power. And with all of these radiators, that should be enough. That should be more than enough to make this work well. So if we start the reactor, that shouldn't go above 1,240 Kelvin. Yes, there we go. That's cool. So, by the way, Kingston upon Hull does not equal Kingston upon Thames. Is that what that means? I know there is a Kingston upon Thames and there is a Kingston upon Hull. I mean, Kingston upon Hull, that's what Hull is just shortened to. So we're going to get round to the light side of the moon and we are going to attempt to land this and make sure this very expensive nuclear reactor is capable of landing on the surface of the moon, which I'm fairly sure it should be able to. I'm fairly sure it should be able to. Hopefully, this will turn us the right way. Or are we gonna... no, that's not the right way. We're gonna have to point ourselves prograde again. That's annoying. These kind of avionics are the wrong way round, and that is probably due to poor design by me. But oh well, there we go. That's fine. So we can fire up those Super Dracos, and we can attempt to land ourselves on the surface of the moon. I mean, we are probably burning through this leg a little bit too much with those Super Dracos, but oh well. And yeah, no, look, our speed coming down. We're coming down rapidly. So I am going to throttle that down a little bit because we don't want to be coming down that fast. What we're going to do is we are, of course, going to physical time warp through the vast majority of this landing procedure due to the fact that, well, we've already seen quite a few of these landings today and we want to get through these as quickly as possible so that I can get onto some other stuff such as building other parts of the lunar base. So, Kanasa, are you going to be building home for Soviets in the moon? I mean, everyone is welcome to the South Pole lunar base. Everyone from Vedzna, it is Vedzna in For All Mankind, isn't it? And Jamestown, yeah, we're going to be landing in the South Pole, so around Shackleton Crater area, maybe not around Shackleton Crater. And as I've said several times on the stream already, I have been watching For All Mankind. I binge watched it earlier on in this week, and I watched the episode yesterday. So that's kind of one reason why I really wanted to put up a lunar surface base in the South Pole, like For All Mankind, like Jamestown, because I just thought it'd be a really cool idea. And I wanted to kind of test out the in situ resource utilization facilities of RO now, because that is something that I've never played around with before. I did a bit of a stream on that on Thursday, trying to figure out what I could do, and it all kind of went well, except for I was having a few problems with RCS. Now what I'm doing is we're just going to be attempting to build the base and kind of all doing stuff like that. And the base is kind of going well. The base is... It's going all right. We've put down a space tank at the very start of this stream. That went pretty well. What else have I done? A connector part, a power part, and that's about it. And I think probably what I'll be doing is I will be finishing this stream for the night. Maybe after the next lot of design iterations that I do for a certain part. And then I'll probably be working a little bit more on these lunar surface parts tomorrow and overnight and stuff like that. And then on my stream on Monday, I don't know what I'm going to do on my stream on Monday. Maybe work on this a little bit more. See what we can do. See if we can get this all done and all built up and everything ready and raring to go to put a surface on the South Pole of the moon, which will be very cool. Very, very cool. So someone is here building my first moon base at the moment. Very, very, very nice. This is my third. The first one was kind of like this, but it was connected by KAS parts. The second one was just an all-in-one big beefy piece. Now this is going to be kind of, the best structured one that I have built. So, damn, Kanasa, you're still live? Nicole Webster? Yes, I am. I have been going for 3 hours and 20 minutes. I probably will be continuing on for maybe about another 20, 30 minutes. I'm not sure how long I will be going on for. But yes, I am still live. I'm here live and trying to land things on the moon. And it's not been going too badly. It's really not been going too badly. And of course, here comes Katniss with the grammar correction. The grammar correction. Is that going to cause heated debate in the comment section? I don't know. There's only one way to find out. I didn't see anything at the moment anyway. How's the base? The base is going relatively well. I have built a space tank. I have built a section that is going to land the connectory parts, the connectotrons, as I think Katniss did dub them. And now what we're doing is we're attempting to land the power tower, which is, it's got a nuclear reactor on the top, it's got a few radiators, and it's got a few connection sections, which will be used for a hub. So we can connect all kinds of ISRU units to this section of the base, which will be pretty cool. And yeah, no, this is, yeah, it's going rather well. So I think I'm going to kill my engines there because we are coming down rather slowly now. We've got about 1 minute and 50 seconds until impact. So we probably could do with killing that throttle. We're going to time warp, and apparently the entire dynamic of the moon has changed. Okay. Why has the moon changed? Why has the location that we're at changed? Oh, I think that's just some weird time warp bug when you're in a crash test. So I'm going to physical time warp rather than actual time warp. So we've got 1 minute and 25 seconds until we crash into the surface of the moon. It looks like we're coming down on a slope, which is less than ideal. That looks all flat. This looks like we're landing in the middle of a slope of a crater. Yes, this did not go according to plan. Oh well. So 230 meters per second. What we're going to do is we're going to fire up those Super Dracos again. We've got, yeah, not too long until we hit the surface. We're at 8,000 meters up now, coming down at 200 meters per second, and coming down. Yeah, this should be fine as long as I can maintain my throttle and try and kind of fine tune this. We should be okay. Oh, excuse me. The problem is though with these Super Dracos, I can't get them to a point where we can hover, so I have to kind of really time this to perfection rather than like getting my speed down to 0 meters per second and then holding it and then slowly slowing myself down. No, this is all about the timing and all trying to figure out when the best timing is. And I am not the best at timing these kind of burns and landings, so this could be very interesting. So here we go. Kanasa, can you build Dutch Boy from the movie Geostorm? I haven't seen the movie Geostorm. I would have to have a look at that and see what that is, but potentially it could be something that I do. So, yeah, no, I timed that badly then because we are now slowing down way too quickly. So now that we're moving 5 meters per second, what we're going to do is we're going to kill those engines. We are going to kill rotation. We're going to wait until we're a little bit further away, and then we're going to fire up those engines yet again. So, Sukabilat, base services in the moon, indeed. All will be welcome here. All will be welcome here. So, I think, yeah, we're 300 meters up, going 35 meters per second. Any minute now, I'm going to fire up those Super Dracos again. We're going to see if we can slow ourselves down rather nicely. That is probably, we want to slow ourselves down a little bit more. 15... 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. We have touched down. Oh, it's tipping. It's tipping. Oh, no, stay. Oh, it's tipped. Oh, that's not good. Well, we have enough Delta V. We have more than enough Delta V to land. I think it's just going to require me being a little bit of a better pilot to get that down. But like I said, it is kind of tricky with how powerful these Super Draco engines are. But what I could potentially do is maybe put a couple of the smaller ones on the underside of here. That might make it a little bit easier to land, although I don't know. I don't know if that's the route that I'm going to go. I really don't. Might be interesting, but oh dear. So, well, that was a somewhat success, somewhat failure. I learned from that I do have enough Delta V and that I can land this, except that I need to come down softer than 5 meters per second. Good thing about this, though, is that maybe MechJeb Autopilot could do this for me. And you know what? I can do that. I can check that now. So we're going to apply our orbit to 60,000 meters yet again. And what we can do is we can refill our fuel tanks, so we can try that again. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, except this time I am just going to let MechJeb do the landing for me, see if MechJeb does a better landing than me. So if we go for land somewhere, and that might be difficult, purely due to the fact that this is going to turn the wrong way round. Can I change the control point? I had a look at this before, and I don't think I can. No, I can't. which is not good. That's really, really not good. I think because if I try to do a landing with MechJeb auto landing, it's going to point me the wrong way. It's going to start burning like prograde. Yeah, see, look, yeah, it thinks we're burning retrograde, but actually we're burning prograde. So that's not good. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So I'm going to terminate the simulation. I want to see if MechJeb can do a landing of this, though. Because MechJeb is good at landing in stock when you have unlimited ignitions and you don't have a spool up time for your engines or anything like that. But when you're doing it in realism overhaul, well, it usually goes really badly. It usually goes really badly. So can I say you sleep? I never sleep. I never sleep. Sleep? What is that? No, I do sleep sometimes. Sometimes. So, so what do you call a joke about crops? Corny. So Alisea said that was a truly terrible joke. That is exactly the kind of joke that Alisea likes. That is definitely an Alisea joke. She loves those. VO work is my least favorite part. Yeah, sometimes I enjoy doing the voiceovers. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes it depends. Most of the time, the most enjoyable part about doing these videos is actually playing the game. And yeah, the editing sometimes can be fun. Like, I had a lot of fun editing the last video for the next Millenia that I did. That was pretty fun. And voiceover usually is the worst, because you're there and you're just kind of like doing things, and then it's like, oh, I kind of really messed that up. And like, oh, do I have to do that bit all over again? And it's not, it can be infuriating at times. It really can be infuriating, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to swap that over. That should now mean that we are the correct orientation, or so I would like to believe. If we set those to go at the same point, and we should have about 2,720 meters per second, we're going to save the power tower. We are going to attempt to launch this, so we're going to send it over to the runway. Let's start our simulation, and we are going to build this up, and we're going to try and get MechJeb to land this time rather than me. I probably could land it. Well, I mean, I did land it. It just tipped over. But I want to see how MechJeb fares with this, purely because when I'm putting this base together, I do want to have kind of like targeted landings. That all of the landings are going to need to be very close together, and I'm sure that I could do that if I had maybe about 3,000 meters per second of delta V for a landing. I'm sure I could probably do that quite closely. However, that means I need 3,000 meters per second of delta V to land, which is a lot more than I would like. And targeted landings, I mean, I can do them well in coming home, in places like Armstrong and Hydrus and all of that, and Lunar, because you're playing with such small delta V that it doesn't really matter, and the planets are so much smaller. But doing a targeted landing in real solar system is way harder than it is in stock. You only have one engine. Did I put only one engine on? How can I get those mods? Time for KSP. You can get these mods. I have an install video on how to download Realism Overhaul and Real Solar System and RP1 and all of that on my channel. If you just Google how to install RO RP1, I think it should come up. Or if you YouTube it. And there is a mod list in the description of every single one of my The Next Millenia video series. So if you want to just go through the mod lists and find what you like, then they will be there as well. So you can check that out too. So, laggy KSP. So, the loading screen is up for me at the moment, and for some reason, for the last few times that I've streamed, whenever the loading screen comes up, OBS decides not to recognize that, which is a bit weird. So, you're left looking at the screen that I hit when I kind of, left. Kebab lag program. Yes, indeed. But, well, that's good. We are now facing the right way, which is very promising. What I need to do, I'm going to activate those. Can I use my RCS? Yes, I can. That is very, very, very promising. We're going to reset that plugin. We're going to hyper-edit ourselves over to the moon. We want to edit the actual active vessel. We want to go for moon, and we want to go for 60,000 meters, and that should be fine. If we hit apply now, we should be in orbit around the moon. Fantastic. Let's time warp ahead just a little bit so that we can see where we're landing. If we kill this now, we're going to get rid of hyper-edit, and we are going to just do MechJeb landing guidance and land somewhere. There we go. And cool, there we go. Now we are pointing retrograde when we are pointing retrograde. So that is a lot better than what we have. And I want to keep auto warp off because I do not want auto warp on at the moment. But we are starting our descent burn. That's looking rather promising. Yep, that's good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to physical time warp through this next bit, because if I turn auto warp on, it will warp and the moon will shift underneath me whilst I'm doing this crash test, which is exactly what I don't want it to do. Which KSP version you use? I am using 1.10.1 for this save, although it's not supported with 1.10.1. The official supported version is 1.8.1. The reason why I wanted 1.10.1, I've said a lot of numbers in a really short space of time now, is because 1.10.1 is, the game runs a lot smoother, which is kind of nice. Although there are a lot of buggy moments, there are a lot of things that break all the time, which is really not nice, as I have experienced on this live stream quite a few times already. No, we've had a few bugs, we've had a few weird, crashy, glitchy moments, and it's not been very fun. So yeah, 1.8.1 is definitely the recommended version to go for if you want to play all of these mods. So, I wish he was too! Slow down, man. What? Slow down? No, never. I have to be quick. So, too many cabs. So, quit it with the cabs. Oh dear, oh dear. So, Hicham, not today. I had my COVID vaccine and it's made me really ill. If that's talking about why Alicea is not on stream today, yes, she has had a bit of an unfortunate time with the side effects from the COVID vaccine, which has not been very fun. Why you rap? I'm noob. This is just, I'm sorry, this is unfortunately how my live stream videos are, how my videos generally are. I usually speak quite quickly. Or at least sometimes. I do speak slowly sometimes. I just feel like that's kind of what my channel is, though. It's kind of how I talk. I mean, I don't really talk like this all the time in real life. No, I speak a bit slower in real life, but that's usually because I've got someone else interrupting me, so I can't talk over them. But no, I don't usually speak like this. My YouTube presentation voice isn't my normal speaking voice. I ask Alicea. It is a little bit different. So what you study? I study, if you're talking to me, I study computer science at university. I'm in my second year now. I ain't no British, I'm a Texan buster. So, so you're from Texas, Nicole Webster. I've always kind of wanted to visit Texas, purely because I wanted to visit Austin, because that's where the Rooster Teeth studios were. And I used to love Red vs. Blue when I was growing up, and I always wanted to visit Austin just so I could visit the Rooster Teeth studios. Have you launched Hubble telescope in KSP? No, I have not. I haven't launched anything like the Hubble telescope. I have launched some telescopes in Coming Home, though, although they didn't really do an awful lot. So I don't think I'll be doing anything like that in this series. This series is mostly going to be about building bases, building space stations, and going to the outer planets. So that's a lot of eggs. There is a lot of eggs. Texas scary. I don't really keep up to date with American news. I'm very bad at keeping up to date with most news, if I'm going to be particularly honest. Are we even going to attempt to start slowing down? Because we're now 33,000 meters above, and we're not even starting our burn. I'm trusting MechJeb landing guidance does know what it's doing, but I mean, it has failed me several times before. It would be nice if we could get MechJeb landing guidance to work, purely due to the fact that, well, I can do a lot better targeted landings, but this is rather concerning. But the engines have fired up. And the throttle ability is really helping us here. And we have got 3 times time warp on. And it does look like we are coming... that glyph over there does look a little bit concerning. So, Kanasa, have you visited Kennedy or Johnson Space Center? I have visited Kennedy Space Center. I visited... Last time I visited it was probably in about 2003, I think. It's been a very... No, it must have been later than that. Maybe about 2006, 7? It's been a long time since I visited. But that's because my family like going to Florida. They're all like massive Disney fans. They do enjoy going. And I think we've only been to Kennedy Space Center a couple of times because my sisters can't be bothered going for the like 2-3 hour drive when it's something they're not really interested in, when I've been to Florida with my family anyway. Whereas I've always really wanted to go, and I do want to go back. I went on a G-Force simulator last time I was there, and my God, that was horrific. I think it pulled at most 4 Gs. Yeah, no, that really wasn't fun. Really wasn't fun. Oh, here we go. This is looking kind of terrifying. Are we gonna... Oh. No, Oh, excuse me. So MechJeb landing guidance went about as well as me landing it. Yes, no, we landed, but we landed on our side. No, that's less than ideal. Really less than ideal. Oh dear. I'm sure I'm gonna have to land this manually, I reckon, and I'm just gonna have to try and or maybe one thing that I could do is rather than landing on this base here, maybe having some extendable legs coming out of the side or something like that. That might be a smarter idea. Give us a bit more of a surface area to land on. But we have 1,000 meters per second of delta V left, which means we got 1,000 meters per second of delta V to maneuver around the moon, which means we should be able to get a nice targeted landing with this stage, which would be very, very, very nice. But yeah, no, MechJeb landing guidance does about as well as I do landing on the moon, by the looks of things here. Yeah, probably need a wider surface area to land this on, because at the moment we're trying to land a long, tall thing, and that never goes well. That never, ever, ever goes well. So yeah, time to terminate this simulation, and I think what I'll do is I'll try and have a look at maybe getting some different landing legs on here. So, Carnazzo, just use Vessel Mover. No, I'm not using Vessel Mover. I'm not using any cheaty ways of getting this to where I want it to be. No, it's all got to be homegrown, natural, and organic landing on the moon. We can't be using Hyperedit and Vessel Mover and all stuff like that to get us down. No, place wheels for horizontal landings like this. See, the thing is, if I land horizontally like this, that's basically it. We can't. There's no way that I can recover from the mission. No way that I can get this to where I want. If I land horizontally, not vertically, it will be considered a failure. So I need to make sure that it lands vertically every single time, which, to be honest, isn't too much of a challenge. It really isn't too difficult to make sure that you can land vertically. You just need a bit of a wider base in order to fit this. However, making a wider base also means that I'm going to have to kind of really consider where these docking ports go, because, yeah, the space tank might have a bit of difficulty getting into those. But we'll see. If I can get some of these maybe LT1 landing struts on, if we place those there on top, no, oh, there will be a day. There will be a day, one day, where I can just rotate apart, and it will rotate the right way, but it is not this day. It is definitely not this day. There we go. It's a little bit of a wider base, which might help us. It might help that get this down a little bit safer. It does add a little bit of weight, although I'm really not too fussed about that. And I think what I might do as well, rather than having those Super Draco engines there, I'm going to place those inside here, inside the middle, and we'll place them in there like that. And there we go. They kind of fit nice and snug in there, and it might be a little bit easier to bring this down if we just have them coming out through there. And then basically, yeah, we can imagine that there are some kind of fuel feed like lines coming through here into the engines at the side. What might also be a smart idea, because this is kind of... No, I was thinking of maybe getting the single solitary Draco, Super Draco engine, which obviously produces about half the thrust, half the thrust, which might be useful for maybe trying to attempt a hover landing. Although, what I could do is if I wanted to land this personally myself, right? So if I grab one of these engines, one Super Draco engine, and we place that there. Say like that, that's fine. And that's going to be dead center, which will be easy. And then we can just control that one Super Draco when we're doing our final descent. That might make it easier to land. That might make it easier to land and be all good. And I think that'll be a much better way to do this. I think what I'm going to do is, now that I've just made those tiny little changes, and what I'm going to also do is I am going to assign an action group, and we'll go for custom action group 1. If I can find those Super Dracos, we're going to shut down the engine, leaving just this one engine in the middle to be used for our final landing burn. There we go. Yeah, no, I'm going to try landing this. Yeah, because there's a few edits to this, and this is kind of the most crucial part of this mission due to the fact that it is our power source. So this is something that I do need to spend a lot of time on, testing it and making sure that everything is absolutely fine. And I think it should be. So yeah, let's try this one final time. It's going to work. Fingers crossed. I have faith. I have faith in my terrible contraptions that I do design. So, Kanasa, when you launch crew, you should launch the Apollo landing module. I've already designed the landers that I'm going to do for this surface base, and they are going to be using the CST command capsule. I spoke about those earlier on in the stream. What I am going to be doing is we are going to fill those up with enough fuel to get from they will have enough fuel to circularize at the moon and then land, but they won't have enough fuel to take off again. What we are going to have to rely on is ISRU, in situ resource utilization, around the moon so that we can start producing hydrolox, fill up those tanks, and send them back to Earth. And it's kind of going to be an interesting kind of concept. Something that I've never really done in Realism Overhaul before is in situ resource utilization, and it's something that I really did kind of want to do for this series, because I thought it would just be kind of like something a little bit different, something I've never done, something that isn't really used an awful lot in RO, seeming as it is a relatively new kind of game feature that has been added to Realism Overhaul. I mean, RO ISRU has only really been in it for about maybe like 3 months, might be a little bit longer now. So I love it when my capture card likes to be dumb. Oh dear. Katniss Hush, time for KSP. It's possible, but probably not going to do it. What's going on? He's a champ. Who's a champ? Okay, seriously now. No more caps or I'll smack you with my spanner. What is going on? What is going on? So Kanasa, why Karnasa instead of NASA? The reason why I'm Karnasa, I've spoken about this before, is basically it was my old name on World of Warcraft was Karnas, because I thought it sounded very fantasy-like. Yeah, it's very like a fantasy-sounding name. So that was my name on WoW back in the day. And then I went through a period of creating new characters, and because I was very bored and ran out of like enthusiasm very quickly. So instead of completely changing the character name, I added a letter onto the end of each iteration. So I was like Karnase for the first one, or Karnasa, which is what I am called now. And then there was Karnasb or Karnasb and Karnask. And then eventually I decided that Karnasa was the one that I liked the most, the character that I liked the most and played the most. So I just stuck with Karnasa for everything, and it became like my D&D name, my YouTube channel name, and yeah, it's what I use for everything now. It's nothing to do with cars or NASA, funnily enough. But yeah, no, it's just my mind doing something like that. Right, so we are going to hyper-edit ourselves once again into the orbit of the moon, and we're going to attempt to land this. This time, I'm going to attempt to land it. We're not going to leave it to MechJeb, because MechJeb did about as well as I did. So I'm sure I can do better. So editing actual vessel. Yes, that is correct. That is what we want to edit. And we want to go to moon. Not the moon, just moon. If it was in caps, it'd be like moon. But no, it's just moon. I just love how it's not the moon, it's just moon. Yeah, I really like that. But here we go. Oh, one thing that I've not been doing is I've not been extending these radiators. So we've probably had a few issues with our nuclear power that we should be generating for this. But there we go, extend radiators, we'll extend radiators, and we're gonna flippity flip this. If we turn this on, we're gonna go for good old retrograde and try and land this and get rid of a sent autopilot. We don't need that. Yep, there we go. Smart ASS, where are you? Moon, it's fairly interesting. Get your Karnas over here right now. I'm currently doing vector mechanics stuff. It's fairly interesting. I am not very great at maths. I do maths within my course, within my uni course, obviously computer science, I do a bit of maths, and vector maths is something that I probably will need to do at some point. But yeah, no, I've never been great at maths. I say I'm not good at maths. I can still do maths up to a fairly competent standard, but my family, my sisters are much better at maths than me. One of them being an accountant and one of them working in finance. So yeah, they are. They use maths in their everyday life. I mean, so do I as well. Like, there's a lot of maths that goes into designing things here, but nothing too complicated. So calculator, go brr. Yes, definitely. I do have. Where is it? I usually, here it is. So whenever I play a KSP, I always have my calculator up with me ready, just in case I need to do some complex calculations, such as food and water supplies. I was trying to design a Mars mission earlier on. Well, not earlier on. I was trying to like figure out what I could do with a Mars mission, and yeah, I needed to do some complex calculations, right? So now what we're going to be doing is, of course, I did say we are going to be attempting to land this. This is going to be just me attempting to land this. So we are going to physical time warp through this. And what I will do, now that I've got a bit more fine control, I should be able to maybe hover or get a bit of a nicer landing just using this kind of one engine in the middle. But it looks good. This looks promising. The fact that this is kind of, yeah, the engines are working. I just use Google as a calculator. Where are you doing vector mechanics? I know someone was going to ask. It's a wonderful place called YouTube. Very nice. I'm just doing it for fun. Cool. I mean, I suppose I do find mathematical problems sometimes fun. I find logical problems fun, usually. And yeah, brain teasers and all stuff kind of like that is kind of nice. But I don't know, I wouldn't usually sit down and do maths in my spare time. Maths is usually, I don't mind it as such, but yeah, I've never been that enthused about it. But I know some people really are, and I've got a few friends that are really, really into it. So I can definitely see the appeal. Definitely see the appeal. But this looks rather interesting, rather promising. Hopefully this will be the landing that is completely successful. Canasta, are you going to be landing at Shackleton Crater? I've talked about that quite a bit. I don't think I am going to go for Shackleton, or I don't actually know where Shackleton is on the moon when you look at all of the craters around the South Pole. It would be kind of nice, maybe, obviously, Shackleton being the crater in For All Mankind, which I have said several times. I have been binge-watching that show recently, but I don't know. So now what I want to do is I want to cut these two engines, which I created an action group for. And yeah, now we should be able to hopefully bring ourselves down a bit slow. We've still got 1,010 meters per second. So obviously MechJeb is a lot more efficient at bringing these down than I am, because MechJeb landed with 1,010 meters per second left, and I've still got to do my landing. I'm 17,000 meters up. It's quite a long way. It's quite a long way, and we've still got a long way to go. So I imagine I'll probably burn through about an additional maybe 500-600 meters per second trying to land this. We are going to physical time warp through this little bit of a drop though, so that's saying that we've got 20 seconds until we need to start our landing burn. Very interesting. Let's fire up that single engine now. Ah, there we go. Look, yeah, it's not enough to slow us down completely, which is great. That does mean that I can do a bit of a hover, which is very nice. And yeah, no, it's nice having just that single solitary engine on there. That will make it a lot easier to land this. And I might maybe even consider repurposing some of my other landing vehicles that I've designed in this live stream to have this kind of setup where I can have just one to do the final little bit of landing, and this will make landing a lot easier. It'll make it a lot more bearable. So yeah, no, this might be a good way of going about doing this. So if we cut the engine... Yeah, there we go. This is looking promising. This is looking very promising. This will be a nice way to land. Have you seen the KSP2? Have I seen the KSP2 trailer? Of course I've seen the KSP2 trailer. I loved it. I remember when it came out of the blue. I was completely shocked. I had no idea that it was coming. And I was like, I watched it about 10 times on repeat. Because I love the song anyway. Outro, I love that song. And yeah, the whole trailer, I was just like, oh my god, this is phenomenal. This is fantastic. This is the best game trailer I've ever seen in my life. I actually would agree. I would say that. I think it's the best game trailer I've ever seen in my life. And I might be a bit biased by that because obviously I really like Kerbal Space Program. Although, I don't know. No, there's one other game trailer that comes to mind that might be better, and that was the Gears of War 1 trailer with Mad World. That was just burned into my memory for all eternity after I saw that. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's between those two. Both of those are fantastic trailers, and I think they did a really good job on the KSP2 trailer. But yeah, thoroughly looking forward to the game. Really looking forward to the game. Love to see what they are going to be doing with it, and kind of how they're going to make everything work, especially big kind of surface outposts and space stations and orbital construction and all of the near future kind of technologies that they are going to be working on. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. And I hope it's going to turn out as good as everyone is hoping, because that would be really nice. That would be really nice. So we're coming down at a gentle 8.4 meters per second now, which is, yeah, it's kind of good. I came down at about 5 meters per second before, so if I go for surface velocity and try and bleed all of that off, 5 meters per second, 4 meters per second, let's hit control, and kill our rotation, 2 meters per second, 1.8, and yeah, we are coming down really, really slowly here. Really slowly, 1.6, and touchdown, and even at 1.6 meters per second, are we going to tip? No, we are not! We are turning back, and we have successfully landed this power, or have we? I don't know if we have or not. Oh, it's close. It's really... Yeah, no. But it's a successful landing. We have safely touched this down on the surface of the moon, which is great. And I think those additional landing legs that I added really didn't help me out in the slightest. No, I think they made things worse. So, I think I'm going to remove those and just keep this multi-engine setup instead. I feel like that is going to be the way to go about doing this. It feels like, yeah, it's a much better. So, Triceratops, what's KSP2? I don't know. It's some new game, I think. Something new. So, Canassa, if build limit wasn't a problem in KSP, would you connect the moon to the Earth by elevator? That would be impossible due to just how physics works. Because, well... Yeah, because the moon revolves around the Earth, and you could make a space elevator that goes out to geostationary orbit, but connecting the moon and the Earth, I think I saw a video on it once. It's like, even thinking about it, even with my limited knowledge, it just seems completely unfeasible. But I think with the successful landing of Power Tower, that is going to be the end of this stream, as I have almost been going for 4 hours. And yeah, I think So Not the Hero Type will be streaming. If he's not already streaming, he will be streaming very, very shortly. So yeah, no, it's been pretty good. I've got most of the components, or some of the components for this lunar base all done. There are a few more bits that I do need to do and work on, and I'm sure that will come on Monday stream. So Star Boundaries mod list, there isn't a mod list in the description of this video. There is a mod list in the description of all of the next Millenia actual series videos, and I do also have an install video as well that you can check out if you want to find out the mod list. But yeah, no, I will continue on building Moonbase 2000 in the next live stream, the next couple live stream that I do on Monday, which hopefully should be able to get pretty much all of it done by then, which will be really cool. So, Canassa, can I play Universe Sandbox Live? I could. I do have the game. I don't think I have it installed at the moment, but I'm not sure. I could do something like that, but maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if there's much interest in that. It would also be nice to have a mission in the KSP to Earth, the surface of the planets, to help land the probes. I'm not sure if I quite understand that. So, I mean, you could do an elevator close to the atmosphere. It would always face towards Earth because of the tidal lock. I'm not sure. It might be... It might be something that you can do. I've not really looked into it. I've not really looked into it an awful lot. Like I said, I've seen one video and it was a while ago. But anyway, thank you everyone that has come along to this stream. It's been good. We've got a lot of lunar-based stuff done. Thank you, So Not the Hero Type. Go check him out. Go check out his stream, which he'll be starting on Twitch momentarily. If you have not already, he's also got a YouTube channel. Go check that out as well. So, but yeah, no, thank you, Sono. Thank you, Neptune Official, Raphael Water, Linux Gamer, Linux User, 1234, Star Boundaries. I'm just going through, seeing who's said something. J Ceratops, Katniss was here for a long time. Alicea, of course, all of the mods in the chat and everyone in Discord. Go check out the Discord, all of that. Yeah, no, so much to say at the end, but thank you very much. Thank you for everyone who's been here. I have been Carnassa, and I will see you all later.